lets me add you as a collaborator when you pair your account. I see Kev's live as well.
Yes, indeed. He went live half an hour ago. Yay! I've got the notification on the phone.
Cool
And so's
beans.
mine went live. Hello, everyone.
Okay. Let's see what I can do this in. Hello. I guess if you're watching this on catch up, welcome to BBC iPlayer.
No. No joking, Andy. Naughty boy.
We can offer you commercial breaks, but you'll just have to wait a moment. So yeah, if you are watching this in catch up, you might like to fast forward about 20 minutes or so, because we tend to sort of load this stuff with this front stuff with like fixing tech issues, filler, just letting our audience find us and letting ourselves get our heads screwed on properly. Having cigarettes. There'll be a medications call soon. If you're watching this now, take your meds now. Now, I can't see a YouTube collaborator ad now that we're live, so maybe it's something I can only add after the stream has concluded.
Rejoice, everyone. Your lass is taking our anticoagulants because blood clots are bad and they can kill you. And also taking my pregabalin because nerves. Yeah. I've been getting baked alive in the house today. Fiery yellow orange.
Like
baked black. No. Fiery yellow. I'm going fuck off. It's going to be fun. We're going down to see baby Highland cows or baby Healing coos on Tuesday in Pollock Country Park. It's going to be 23 degrees and no cloud cover. Your lass has every possibility of getting burnt. Bugger.
Big hoodie. That's what you need.
That's why this exists.
End up looking like a monk, a mad monk.
You don't look like a Russian monk, and
I am the meddling monk.
Fun.
You can always bring the glass doors down and make sure not to look outside in case you see the midnight entity.
Oh God, that's one of the other ones you've reminded me of. Was it some sort of tour? It was like the crystal plate. Damn it.
Yeah. So
was that Tennant or Matt Smith?
That was Tennant. That's the one with the repeating, the alien that repeats everything that is said. And
yeah.
So I came across that when I was preparing for our stream. I searched Doctor Who sociology, and somebody had written on Reddit, well, I want to talk to my class about sociology in relation to Doctor Who. So I want to show a clip from Doctor Who, and everybody was coming back midnight. And somebody said, well, actually, yes, that'll entertain them, that'll grip them, but what does it have to do with sociology? You want to put the sociology first and then find an episode that relates to that in Doctor Who. Your job is not to entertain the class or get the class into Doctor Who. Your job is to explain the sociology to them and use Doctor Who as a way of doing that. So first things
first. It's a really good resource for doing that. Yeah. It's a really good resource for actually teaching social anthropology and stuff, or sociology. It's one of the main reasons it's actually survived this long, because it's well respected, and it actually, in certain regards, it pushes good social policy to a certain extent.
No, we're not quite on BBC iPlayer yet, Jackie. Or if you don't mind me calling you Jackie, from time to time by accident. But I noticed one of the benefits of using Restream, which we used to get out to multiple channels at once, is that you can stream to Amazon Live. So that's something I might poke about with as I'm paying for this.
I can live stream straight from my Patreon now. I haven't started it yet. I'm going to put a price on it as low as I possibly can go, because I don't want to make my content or my education for everyone inaccessible.
Yes,
I'm not in it for the bucks. I'm here to educate people.
So you've just given me a good off ramp to plug my Patreon, patreon.com/Andy Luke. All my YouTube videos go up like early access a week, sometimes weeks before. So you could price as low as £1, which is, I have set mine for £1 for everything. One of the reasons I want to raise my Patreon income, I mean, besides having more money, is once you hit, I think it's £300 a month, you can then set annual rates. So what I could do would be, I could set an annual rate of £12, and that's, you pay that, that's your subscription taken care of for a year. Whereas with my subscribers having to pay a minimum of £1, that incurs tax fees on them as well of 40p per month. So it's £140 a month versus £12.40 a year. So yeah, that's a good one. Hello, a couple of Burks. Welcome to our chat or to our stream. Do check out a couple. He has literally just finished being a guest on that show, which you can watch on what do we call it, catch up. A really good stream about the part I caught was around the far right and the media and claims to be journalists. It's a bit claims like silly claims.
They're more journalists than the auditors they actually cover, as far as I'm concerned. Plus, they're good blokes. Praise be a couple of Burks. I demand all of you go and follow them now. You've been told. Rejoice, Andy. You've got a happy lass here. Celtic won the Scottish Cup. Beat Dunfermline 3-1.
That literally means nothing to me.
I'm pretty sure a fair amount of your Irish compatriots would disagree with you on that one. Yeah, whether they support Celtic or Rangers.
Indeed.
Or Drogheda, which is that's the Republic.
Again, I don't know if everybody can read. I don't know if everybody can read both chats or a sort of a coalescence of chats. Probably not. And we could put them on stream, but like it's really complicated, and I don't know how that works.
Oh no, I see both chats on my Twitch. For my end at least.
I mean, I can't show them on screen, but that ends up covering Katie's beautiful face. So let's see.
Oh,
your comments will display here. What if I? Oh, they're really tiny now.
So far, everyone's in YouTube.
So if you're just joining us, as usual, we like to spend the first 20 minutes like just sorting out lefty tech issues, filler, letting our audience find us, getting dressed, showing cleavage, moves, taking medication. If you're in the UK, 10 o'clock is probably medicine. So rattle those money makers. I have the usual selection of purples and whites, which I will be downing shortly.
I've been a good lass. I've taken my meds.
So the purples I take for epilepsy. I suffer a very mild form of epilepsy. So if you're watching on stream some night and I look a bit stressed and I look a bit distracted, I suffer from a minor form. That manifesting is called absence epilepsy. And it's generally confused with daydreaming, with a kind of very temporary, small sort of amnesia. So there's a brilliant comic I have co-created to talk about my life experiences with epilepsy, where the two intersect. And it's a really good educational guide, as well as being a really entertaining comic. And you can find that for free at absencecomic.com. And it's critically acclaimed and shit. So, yeah.
Cool.
absencecomic.com. Oh. Chug, chug, chug.
Don't worry if you see me moving about, people. My right knee's being a bastard.
Or in the words of Kemi Badenoch, chegos, chegos, chegos.
She got her wish. We've the Labour government have fucking dropped it. Peer pressure, it works apparently, especially on our government. Make
It's
it
a so
chat. I beg of
little
you.
priority in my life. I have literally no idea where the chegos is, what the problem with it is.
Indian Ocean. It's in the Indian Ocean. So it's over in that direction. Over there. It was a refueling station for us when we had an empire.
Good evening, Doug. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to streamy and things. So in about 10 minutes or so, we're both going to be coming up on drugs. We're also going to start talking about the Sciencey-Wiencey of Doctor Who, but we're doing it in a very kind of different way. We're kind of only really talking about it in... Now, you in chat can talk about it however you like. Please bring your comments. We've got a really supportive community for that. But Katie and I are only going to talk about it in terms that we're actually interested in and understand what we're talking about. Yes. So we'll be covering things like, okay, a bit outside the boundaries of science of storytelling. Maybe not a science, but it will frame the conversation. Talking about it in terms of medicine and healthcare. We'll be talking about it in terms of the humanitarian sciences, sociology, anthropology, geographically. So Lily, Doctor Who, the first question. Welcome to chat. I'm going to pin that because I love pinning stuff.
Exactly, Solly. Exactly. Praise be, Solly in chat. Solly is awesome. Hi, Solly. I thought you would have been annoying Kev.
Is people have to go somewhere, right? The Kevin, can we blend Kevin with immigrants? Kev immigrants? Is that Kev immigrants? Have to go somewhere.
Immigrants? All the ologies. There's plenty of them.
All the ologies.
As far as some right-wingers are concerned, there's too many ologies.
So while we're filling the time, give us a recap, Katie and everyone in chat. Where are you tonight? How does tonight find you? How's your week been?
My week has been rather good, essentially. My health is on an even keel again. Leaving aside the right knee, but doing well. Um, uh, uh, Suffering from the heat. Us Scots aren't made for it. Just take a look at me. It's going to get worse. We're going to have a straight week of fiery yellow orb and sky. And don't get me wrong, I need the sun. It's good to the joints, but burn like a bastard.
As a smoker, I appreciate sunny days because I can go outside and smoke and read without fear of raindrops extinguishing both. There's nothing worse than that. Well, there is plenty worse, but it's not good to have a nice fresh book covered in raindrops. It kind of stinks the curve a bit. But I'm now off I took a week's holiday last week, and I ended up going back to work a day early. I thought to myself, well, actually, I've achieved quite a lot in this day. Why don't I make a bit more time next week for holiday and sort of break the holiday up a bit? So, I mean, it's been good. I've started my Press Gang video essay series, Stephen Moffat's Press Gang, of which I might have the episode guide here. And actually, Jim Sangster, who's the editor of this, got in touch, sent me 20 minutes of video of him talking about 6 different episodes, which I'm already including in. I've written a few of those excerpts into the structure for my video essay series. I've one entirely written and the clips all collected. Just needs me to record my part and do the mix. I have a second script written. I just have to do a bit of research on one of the actors and then collect the scripts for that, record and mix. So, I mean, the first one goes live on Wednesday to Patreons and then publicly live the following Wednesday. So I'm quite, I've got all my ducks in a row, making good time on it. And I also got the Sunday comics for tomorrow morning published. And actually I'll come back to that. But I also got a submission. I reached out to a few of my friends to do Sunday comics reviews to give me a little break. So I'm hosting them on my channel. So cartoonist Holly Radel is going to talk about an Eisner nominated thing. But just on cue, so Sunday Comics is essentially, in my role as a British comics, independent underground comics evangelist, I go and do an organic review each Sunday. And tomorrow morning's one is on Lytton, which is a character in Andor Cine, whatever that is. It's Doctor Who related. But Lytton is a character who appeared in both a Colin Baker and Peter Davidson story. He's kind of like a sharp-edged sort of mercenary. I think he's initially set up as a stooge in one of the Dalek stories, and then returns as a bit more sort of a fleshed-out character. And the artwork is by my old friend Barry Renshaw, and look at that, it's absolutely beautiful. It's both commercial top tier and a style that will lend itself to doing like a sort of an autobiographical, more independent story. Now, these were produced by Cutaway Comics, which is an independent publisher, and it's not something they had to pay the BBC for a license for. Just acknowledging that BBC own the copyright and that informing them they wanted to use them and getting the clearance for that. It's also written by Eric Sayward, who was the Doctor Who script editor for much of the 70s and wrote a number of stories. Just let me. Some of these I'm no familiar with, so you'll have to fill in the gaps. The Visitation, Earthshock, which is a very famous one, and
Oh, I know Earthshock.
it's probably the first episode of Doctor Who I clearly remember.
Yes.
I don't know if we should talk about spoilers. Revelation of the Daleks and Resurrection of the Daleks, he also wrote, which are the two stories featuring Lytton. So yeah, it's quite good. There's Erica's signed a comic or two.
Those covers look really good.
Yeah, very iconic, big posture sort of stuff, right? I don't know what Orsini is. I think that's a character from another Doctor Who. Like I backed these. I got these from a Kickstarter like about 4 years ago, and I just really backed it because I'll talk. My relationship with Doctor Who is a bit strange because I'm a fan. I'll watch the show if I feel comfortable with the talent, but I'm not a Whovian. I don't. I feel calling myself a Whovian means I'm a fan of all Doctor Who stuff. When some of it is, especially some of the later stuff, is quite abysmal. But anyway, it came with all these bonus features, CDs of commentaries and discussions with Sayward and Barry Renshaw.
Cool.
BFI interviews and stuff. So more than I can possibly watch, really. Yeah.
I wanted to say, is that a Cyberman on the cover of that one? It looked like a Cyberman to me.
Oh, no, that's Nelson.
Oh, God, it's the statue. It looked like a Cyberman. Just my eyes.
Some more alien stuff on the back cover. Yeah.
Cool.
Let's see. What have I missed in chat? Well, I've been blethering. It's too cold. Yeah, Jackie. Jackie says I was whinging the other day because it was too cold and I was wearing a blanket hoodie the other day, and I'm wondering because it's too bloody hot. Yeah, my clothes have been. Don't read into this. My clothes have been on and off all day. It's hoodie on, hoodie off. Yeah, stop sniggering at the back.
I am. It's weird with this flat because it's kind of although it's built between the wars essentially, so it's really well built and stuff like that and things. But it is kind of like a heat box in here at times, or a freezer. There is no happy medium. I'm sure somewhere on this planet there is a happy medium for people like me and Jacqueline. I'm sure of it.
Hi, Christina. Welcome in.
Hi, Christina. Toasty, yes, Toasty Cow.
Shana, delighted you could join us. Welcome in.
Madeline.
Pull up a seat.
Rejoice.
Stick your feet up if it floats you.
The supermod is here. Oh, thank you, Christina.
If you're on Twitch, do check out Shana's channel, which is it Shana Cranky Pants or isn't there a different name? Capricorn, of course. Capricorn.
Oh, sweet. Thank you, my dear. For clarity, everyone, Simon is Shana's elderly gentle pupper. Simon is old. I love Simon. He is lovely. Then they've got the Chaos Pupper called Ricochet. How's Chaos Pupper doing, my dear?
Oh wow, your Stream Elements message pops up in here. That's handy.
It does, yes.
Layla Spellwin, do welcome to our chat.
Layla, hello.
I don't know if this is a place to mention it, so you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but I saw you recently left a Discord because of a conversation that left you disenfranchised, I'd love for you to come back into that Discord. You're very welcome there. That's probably all I'll say about it without getting into it. But if you need to talk, yeah, we're here. We're cool.
Get off. Ricochet, stop doing that. Bad Ricochet.
What? Papa keeps trying to hump the elder gentle pupper. Yeah, Chaka Pupper. Sorry, I'm reading out a lot of stuff because I'm not sure who can see which chats. So in order to sort of talk about them, I'll read out the whole thing. Chawa Pupper keeps trying to hump the elder gentle pupper, so I'm having to keep them separated. This is a problem I've been having with gerbils lately. The Dom and one of the younger cubs have been like butting heads a lot. And I've separated the elder one a couple of times now, but they're always butting heads. And I think the gentle one, the smaller one, sorry, might be antagonizing them a bit to provoke a reaction. So gerbils fighting is really quite horrible to see. So it's something I have to keep an eye on. Jacqueline writes, I watched the first lot of Doctor Who religiously when I was a kid. Oh, actually, you might need to caveat that. Do you mean 2005 Doctor Who or classic? Maybe you mean classic. The only reason I started to watch the second lot of Doctor Who was because I was curious to see Billy Piper in it. Yeah. Okay. So I think very, very informally, I'm not sure if Katie agrees, but where I'm coming from, I'm probably going to talk mostly about modern Who, just because it's easier to wrap up, it's fresher in my memories. It's no prejudice to classic Doctor Who, even though a lot of it's shit. But some of it is my favorite. The Pertwee era, start to finish, brilliant. Sylvester McCoy's last 2 seasons, brilliant. Tom Baker is beloved internationally as the only Doctor up until Tennant came along.
Oh, dear God, Andy. Oh, I didn't like Sylvester. Sorry, I know he's Scottish. I get it. I didn't like him as Doctor.
Don't you sit there and tell me Remembrance of the Daleks, The Curse of Fenric were shit. It's Doctor Who at its
damn got me.
Almost, yeah.
I just
effing gold.
I'll give you your due with those two actually. So yeah.
And honestly, without
as a whole, though,
without McCoy, like, okay, let's put aside McCoy's first season because it's pants, right? But McCoy gave you, and let's put aside Colin Baker. Let's try not to think about Colin Baker. But McCoy gave us
doesn't exist.
The darker, it doesn't exist. No, Colin, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Katie said that. I've no control over her.
I do apologise, Colin, but dear God, you were crap as the Doctor. I'm sorry so much.
Let's give him a little fairness. He could only work with the material given to him, and he got a pile of shite.
Yeah,
really.
He did.
And I constantly hear from people listening to Colin Baker in the Big Finish series that he's like a zillion times better. My point is that McCoy gave us this darker tinted Doctor, this Doctor full of mystery and danger that we kind of saw towards the end of Tennant's run a bit. And we certainly saw it in Capaldi's run. But I think McCoy was the first to give us that significantly for, in a working way.
Yeah. Dark Doctor?
Hey?
I'm trying to figure out what Shanna is. Dark Doctor. I'm not sure what you're alluding to
Dark
there.
Doctor. Like the McCoy Capaldi Dark Tenement.
Oh, right, those types. Oh, right, those type of episodes. Okay. Sorry, Shanna.
Yeah,
Did you?
and lends
The
itself.
darker, more serious tones. Right.
I think Doctor Who lends itself very efficiently to that type. Um, when you consider, like, even way back to Hartnell, who was the sternest of the doctors, he was still very much a figure that was uh, paternal, friendly. And the doctor, even by dint of name, has always been this caring figure. So
Yeah.
when you mix in a bit of the spice of the Dark Doctor, it contrasts really lovely. And it's so different from this trend of grimdark, where so much in I mean, go back to the 1986, the Watchmen, The Dark Knight Returns, and carrying it forward now 40 years, where so much of media is, oh, I'm so dark. Look at my black t-shirt, and that means story, and that means character. And no, it doesn't. It not just means you're a sad little goth fuck who somehow has got a job in television production. Um,
I thought they played that rather well with when a good man goes to war. And everyone thought, including some of my friends and family members, my own sister, thought, "Oh, when a good man goes to war," and they thought that they were alluding to the actual doctor. No, my darling, it's not the doctor. Everyone knows about the doctor. They don't know about the person who was the good man. Uh, go star and chat if you actually get who I'm referring to. And
love,
you are
love
not
comes.
allowed to see you. I know who you. I know you. I know you know who I'm talking about. By the way,
Sorry, I wasn't listening. What?
when a good man goes to war, I fell for it. Bollocks. Naughty Andy. Naughty. Bad. I loved those episodes so much. They were amazing.
I think
Run.
well, I mean,
Well
we'll
done,
talk a
Solly.
bit more about story, but I think a good man goes to war makes for a really satisfying series finale, big conclusion type story. I just feel Let's Kill Hitler, entertaining though it was, drops the ball considerably, and so does the conclusion to the River Song story. I think it was Moffat trying to do too much in too little
Ah,
space and time. A lot of love for Pertwee coming in the chat, um, which, fuck
you're
yes.
of my ilk, Solly.
Look, do you know, I mean, the great thing that appealed to me about Pertwee, we're going to talk more about this in a minute, but Doctor Who, classic Doctor Who, was always very much an installment story. So it set pitch up is
6,
10,
7, or 8. Yeah,
3,
yeah,
4, episode 6, and I piss off, and it was like a reset. No continuing characters besides a companion,
yeah.
no established mythology. But Pertwee's era had all that. Essentially, you've got a stable show in one place, in one time, repeating characters for about 5 years. That really gave me a sort of an anchor because I'm a fan of
Because
continuity, simply.
that's because he got exiled on planet Earth because he was naughty, apparently.
Yeah, but the Time Lords are canon established as dickheads, really, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh
Um,
God, who played it? Oh, I can see him. He played Bond. Timothy Dalton.
oh yeah,
That was yeah. That was with the Master Johnson.
okay. I
Bond.
call get ready to get into the stream discussion proper. If
Oh,
you need to pee, go now. Um, if you need a refill on coffee, I probably will need to actually. But I'll see if I can make it for a little while. I'm gonna go pee. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, I can do a wee thing, a magic thing, where um, Oh, except I can't. There's a special button which like lets me show Katie just on screen and minimize myself, but they've
That's
completely
okay. Just leave it. Don't
yeah.
worry.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, you got it.
Serialization.
Ah! Hello, everyone. Hello, Whovians of many different stripes. Both myself and Andy are huge Doctor Who fans, as you can tell. I'm of the same sort of. I'm kind of split down the middle, whether I'm a Whovian or not. I know a lot about Doctor Who. According to one of my best friends, I have the worst doctors ever. So that's Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy. I'm sure I'm not doxing him. Sorry, Dave. But to a certain extent, Sylvester McCoy's Doctor actually shaped who I am to a certain degree. And we shall not talk of Colin Baker. We shall not. To any Colin Baker Doctor Who fans out there, nothing against Jews. That script was dog shit. BBC, really. The amount of money you've been funneled through the years, especially from like the mid-80s onwards. Peter Davison was really quite good. I liked him. Obviously, the objective best Doctor was obviously Capaldi, with David Tennant coming a close second. Fight me, chat. Fight me.
What have I missed there? Did you just proclaim Capaldi as the best?
Yes.
Yes, this is a unified position. Yeah, come on. You take a pair of us on, really? Tonight's stream will be sponsored by Asda Semi-Skimmed Long Life Milk. Yes, it's that shit to help alleviate us from coffee poverty. You can send Kitty Twitch bits. You can send me money over Ko-Fi or PayPal or Patreon, or you can just I was trying not to say freeload out, but just enjoy the stream. Just chill out. Be with us. Genuinely appreciate all the comments. It's you co-creating this experience with us. So yeah, thanks. So I know it'd be good to see his chat on Twitch, but I can't find his chat there. So on Twitch, you need I will post Katie's link in there. It's only Katie is on Twitch tonight, and hopefully you should be able to see that link in chat tonight. No.
You will not be alone there. We've got stock. You're welcome. We've got stock.
Yeah, Restream, who we filter this through, have literally reorganized everything, like one of those cheap supermarkets that changes its point of sale every couple of months and doesn't actually sells less because it confuses people with accessibility problems, which are more people than you'd think, right?
Right.
I can't even find a ticker tape to go on to that. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll put Katie's Twitch up there for now. Okay. So yes, let's talk structure. Let's talk about what we're going to do tonight. So tonight we're going to do our usual introductions. You probably know who we are, but do you know who we really are? And you know who? and what we specifically bring to this conversation. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to go through a few science of storytelling. We're going to talk about that as a bigger way of setting the agenda. Katie's going to lead the conversation talking about medicine and health. I have a few thoughts about that, and I'll probably be leading the charge on the social sciences, sociology primarily, but also other stuff Katie knows a lot about as well, like politics, history, sociology, and anthropology. As Burke says, all the ologies.
All the ologies.
So, do you wanna kick off, Katie, or do you want me to kick off?
Take it away. Take it away,
Okay.
Mike.
So I am Andrew Luke, artist, YouTuber, video essayist primarily, political activist, and my education, my training, my background is largely from a multidisciplinary place. So media and communications, the social sciences. I've taught sociology, I've taught history at GCSE and A level, which is a school and upper school level. I've also been a since age 16. I'm now 52, so many years. I have been a storyteller and author, writing scripts for comic books, film, television. I've sold very few, but it's something I have been very active in submitting from the age of 15. I'm going on to do a master's in film and television production, so I'm really interested in storytelling. So and it's something I talk about a lot in my non-political YouTube essays. And as trailed earlier, particularly in regard to Stephen Moffat and his very first series, Press Gang, which is a modern classic. So that's kind of, yeah, I guess that's kind of where I'm coming from. Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Check. Now over to Katie.
Hello, everyone. Katie Marshall 4340 on YouTube or MadCat79 Scotty I on Twitch. I'm a Scottish disabled Marxist streamer. I try to talk about health and disability and benefits. I've got a degree in virology and parasitology. I've mostly been covering their politics recently because it's all fucking like a garbage fire. Rejoice, our Labour government sucks. Weekend. So yeah, I try to educate people on my stream, and I like to chill. I do media analysis as well as history, and amateur Hellenist. Basically, I like ancient Greek, the policies, essentially, Sparta, Athens, Thebes, Syracuse, things like that. Tangentially, the Roman Empire as well.
So we initially chose Doctor Who for a bit of a chill moment, for a bit of a, right, we're all feckin' knackered from covering the latest Mandelson scandal, followed by the elections. It's just been really worn us out. So I was a bit, when Katie proposed we tilt that towards the science of Doctor Who, I was a bit uncertain, because like beyond the social sciences, I've got I don't feel able to summon up points on, certainly not on astrophysics, on quantum theory. I love reading about quantum theory, but I don't understand any of it enough to explain to people.
If there is no hope for me understanding it, I'm not going to read it. It's not worth the author's time or my time, because I won't get it. I've got a higher in maths, but that's a higher in physics as well. Before I went to uni, I got that to go and do my degree.
Absolutely. If there's any hard science people in the chat tonight in the audience, astrophysicist, quantum blah blah blah. Please give us all the benefit of your learning, your teaching. We will happily receive that. Just because we're not talking about it doesn't mean you shouldn't.
Is there any quantum theorists in the chat?
I mean, the initial pitch for Doctor Who by co-creator Sidney Newman way back in '62 was no bug-eyed monsters, and it was going to be a science and history show. Of course, your second serial was the Daleks, so that killed that idea. Because the Dalek media swept Britain like immediately. It was bigger than the Beatles. Well, okay, it wasn't bigger than the Beatles, but it was quite big.
Oh no! In certain countries, it was actually. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Citation needed. Go ahead.
Parts of Africa actually loved Doctor Who, and they loved it more than they loved the Beatles. Don't get me wrong, the Beatles were a global phenomenon. Don't get me. But yeah, the worldwide reception of Doctor Who back in '63 was huge. Mostly in Europe, oddly enough, especially here in the UK.
Scooby, welcome to chat. Asks, what are those ologies you have degrees in, Katie, for the non-uni educated?
My degree is in virology and parasitology. So virology is the study of viruses, and parasites are the study of parasites, mostly insects, essentially, that infect us with either bacterial or viral things. So viruses, essentially. I would be going down the road of viruses, essentially, and how they affect the world, global extraction of things, and how they affect actual human.
Bug-eyed monsters.
Tiny microscopic bug-eyed monsters, yes, but that's basically what they're very simple proteins, essentially, but they're incredibly efficient and they make us very ill and sometimes kill us. Fun.
My own degree.
Ebola.
My own bachelor's degree is in combined sciences, a story that's far too long to tell here, cut considerably. I was failing in university, so I made a pitch to study multiple modules in multiple fields. So my 2-1 bachelor's consists of education and human development, communications and media, film studies, philosophy, neurology, a Japanese module on understanding comics, politics and international relations, history of art, and a 9th one. Really?
Busy boy.
Show off, fuck.
I done more work doing a STEM degree, so screw you. I love the humanities, don't get me wrong. I'm just joking. I want more people to go into STEM anyway. Okay. Anyway.
So Katie mentioned media analysis, and that's kind of where I live. Story has always been something that I've kind of analyzed from watching television as a nipper and reading comics. Like I think of very few times in my life when I haven't been a storyteller or haven't shaped my identity around that. So it's something that in our kind of reading tonight of Doctor Who that I think is really interesting to open it up. And there's a few points that I wanted to talk about in regards the science of storytelling and Doctor Who. And the first is how the show's format both benefits and limits its scientific context. So you've got a done-in-one story, which is more likely kind of found in New Who, where everything's kind of told, wrapped up in the same episode. and that story structure has like a minimal reliance on the show's internal mythology, or it should do. Um, I mean, I think Modern
They
Who
kind of
veers
they kind of
more
mix it
into
up a bit at
internal.
times. They kind of mix it up at times because
Yeah,
that for like Tennant and Matt Smith, there was a running theme through, well, all three of them. So like Tennant, Smith, and Capaldi, there was a narrative running through in the background
yeah,
that people were meant to pick up on. I
yeah.
got it, but I'm nerd. Mm.
Yeah, you've got encroaching actually of that arc story, and I mean we talked about the Pertwee era, and that's an utter reliance on on story
Yeah,
mythology, the whole unit background, the master. It's it's more like a contemporary show. So this was one of the problems that I had
thank you.
growing up and seeing Doctor Who and really feeling any kind of connection to it, because I would be introduced to one set of characters and in 4 weeks they'd be gone, and I was expected to move on again. And as a kid, I moved about a lot, and I didn't really like it. I liked settling in one place, but now I'm older, I've kind of gotten used to that, and
Yeah,
I quite like the idea of being a traveler. But hey ho, so you've got limited time to invest, thereby long-term repercussions. And the flip side of that is that it also empowers objectivity. So you can be emotionally invested at a distance, which is more like the scientific method. Um,
thanks, Ollie. Yeah,
if you are, you've got a Doctor Who story with a complete supporting cast, a complete location, and then 42 minutes later it's over and the next episode you watch is a completely different set cast,
yeah.
all of that, and one
Andy,
of the, go ahead.
can you pin Solly's comment?
Oh, which New Who compared to classic Who? Yep. um, the other one of the other things, and bringing in, this is kind of jumping the gun on the sociology angle, but I think it's very uh, very related to this area, is methodology, um, observation versus participant observation. And I think the Doctor's role in stories, you can divide those classic Who and New Who. Um, the the Doctor in New Who is very much a character who evolves purposely, and while there are these long running, or these series long social story arcs in the background, there's a lot of emotional stuff in the foreground, and it makes the Doctor a participant, observant.
Yeah,
Whereas if you look at old Who, you can go back and you can see a lot of stories that actually would have happened, would have carried out, if you look at the story mechanics, would have carried out more or less the same way, whether the Doctor is there or not. Um,
yeah,
when I was submitting to Doctor Who magazine in the 1980s, the editor John Freeman sent me a comic strip series Bible, and a few notes back and forth. His emphasis was very much that the Doctor shouldn't be the galvanizing force to the stories. He shouldn't interfere in the stories, um, at least certainly at the outset in Act One. So, I mean, so that speaks into the scientific method of non-interference, that you might be more familiar with through Star Trek. But I think classic Who and New Who has really changed that. Um,
I
you
am
ever
going
seen
to do
that?
I am going to do a poll in my YouTube, on my Twitch chat.
Ah,
Poll. I'll ask you the question until the poll's done. I'll ask you the question, but wait until the poll's finished. 10, 5, 3, or 2 minute time limit on 5 minutes? 5 minutes for the poll, would you say?
I literally. What's the poll?
Who's best?
We've only 8 people in tonight, so yeah, let it. Well, that I can see. So let it play out for a bit longer. If it's a
Oh,
good
we'll do the
one,
10 minute. We'll do the
if
10 minute. Who's better?
yeah, whatever. I don't.
The face of Bo.
In more general story terms, there's various traditions in storytelling that do pop up more and more in terms of like if, in terms of like crossbreeding story styles. So, I mean, the perfect example is Stephen Moffat's first series, the Amy Pond employment of the fairy tale style, which would seem at odds from the science fiction or science fantasy style, but which he very successfully integrates to give us a new Who, certainly not a complete reinvention, but a restylization as vital as what Moffat was trying, or not what Moffat, what RTD was trying to do with Rose, and the idea of realism, a regular working girl, and trying to carry that through. Um, a really good episode in that run, actually, Moffat's run, is Mark Gattis's Robot of Sherwood, which looks at fictional characters and fantasy and what we perceive to be real and not real, and
The
perceptions of
one
heroism and how they measure up.
the one that always freaked me out, and it has you can see it running through social media says to a certain extent, the living plastic. That one kind of terrified me a bit the first time I saw it.
Ooh.
Was that her first episode?
Yep.
That was her first one. Fucking hell.
So I think it's kind of used differently. So in the original appearance back in, which I think was Pertwee's first story, yeah. I think there was definitely a subtext of living plastics, environmentalism,
Yeah.
and waste and stuff. And a lot of the 70s stories had a really strong political underlay that you could
It
you
did,
could
yeah.
ignore, you could pay attention to as you saw fit. I think with RTD and these autons, it seemed to be very much a bit more about commercialism and capitalist greed as a sort of underlay, but with the same subtlety, ignore or import as you see fit. And I mean, there's another great example of importing fairy tale, or importing a different sort of DNA of storytelling style, which I want to talk about later, probably, when we look at RTD's second show running regime, where he brings in elements of fantasy and religion, a bit more heavier in the god stuff. Which I think is, well, I'll make a case for it when we come there. The other note that I had that I want to talk about is propaganda, and like it or not, propaganda is a storytelling style. It is a device, it is a genre, maybe we could say, and that's something that
Could be classed like that, yeah.
Yeah, has been tapped on in The Beast Below, which is kind of the, how would we describe it? It's got a Big Brother kind of style to it, doesn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, actually, that's a
It's
really,
sort of Orwellian, yeah.
yeah. It's. I think it's a bit of a uh, misaligned, underappreciated story. So, refresher, or for those who haven't seen it and want to be a bit spoiled, The Beast Below is focused in a kind of a new Britain, a Britain that's like a flying spaceship or a planet of its own.
He's
And it is
he
powered
started
by,
it. He didn't perpetrate it that much. It was Chibnall who actually
right?
dove heavily into it.
What are you
Strange for
talking about?
noted atheist. Strange that noted atheist Russell T Davies to be using gods a lot lately. He's not been the showrunner for since halfway through Matt Smith.
Hey, what are you? You've
When did
lost me.
when did
Hold on, slow down,
Strange for
kids. Slow down. You're going too fast. Right. Luke, hi, Luke. Welcome to the chat. Um, Luke says, strange for an old atheist Russell to be using gods a lot lately. Yeah, so Russell produced the last 2.5 years and brought in the whole new gods thing into Doctor Who.
Oh, I thought it was Chibnall that done that.
No, no, well, actually, maybe. But Russell, I know Russell really pushed the envelope on it. Right.
Yeah.
Don't interrupt me midstream, woman. I was talking about propaganda. I was explaining the plot of The Beast Below. Do you want to explain the plot of The Beast Below, Katie?
No, you're better at it than me.
Right. So,
Sorry.
Starship Britain is finding, like, where is it? So there's this whole, yes, as Katie said, all sort of Orwellian thing, but generally happiness aboard Starship Britain is being manufactured through Sciencey-Wiencey by the torture of a giant space whale.
Yeah.
And that is keeping in check things like the royal family. Well, actually, the royal family's a side thing, but covering up levels of unhappiness, of poverty, inequality generally. So it's a really interesting look at um, how the state narrative can do that, can sell the idea to us that actually everything's okay, and if there's stuff that goes wrong, it'll sort itself out, no problem. And that's part of what propaganda tells it. It also tells us who to hate, themons. Um, and it's something we see in the Giggle as well. Actually, the Giggle opens with a really powerful scene on Gammon-esque hatred, riots, and the right wing, and really spends the first half of its story doing quite a good job of shoveling into this agenda that teaches us to hate one another. So yeah, I mean, propaganda from state and from loose cannon actors. Yeah.
Yeah.
You may speak now
You
on
could see,
propaganda, Katie.
you could see that running through. I hate using this term, Western society, essentially, especially with that story. I loved that episode; it was bloody amazing. But yeah, using state violence as a means of control, you can actually see it today. It's horrible, and the way that the writers for the show dealt with that within that episode is enlightening. And people, even if you're not a Whovian or a Doctor Who fan or whatever, go and watch that episode. It explains quite a lot of like social conditioning, how the state has this presence in all of our lives. It's really quite good at doing that one. It's good.
I'm
And yet
gonna
propaganda exists.
I'm gonna highlight Scooby's comment so I can
It's quite a
take
good
them
comment
to
actually.
task on it. Um, so yeah, I would argue that propaganda is a story, and I'm approaching this or propaganda. I'm approaching this objectively. So looking at within storytelling, there's various authors that propose set rules. Robert McKee is one of the famous ones. His book Story, which describes story construction in very mathematical, mechanical routes. If we look back to something more approachable but still complex in Joseph Campbell, where he proposes 20 steps to the hero's journey, which is something that George Lucas used considerably.
I've read the shortened version of that one. I've read the shortened version of that Heroes one. The shortened version of that. It's on Reddit. Trust Reddit if you want people.
So, I mean, yeah, so George Lucas based, actually I'm going to talk because I'm going to over for a visual prop while I'm on this. Brace yourself for a visual prop. George Lucas based Star Wars on Joseph Campbell's 21 step monomyth. There's also more popularly in modern times the pared down version of this, the more accessible version by Dan Harmon, community creator, which is known as the Story Circle, and it pairs Joseph Campbell's 21 steps down to 8. And it's much easier to learn, and this is it here. Can I get that on screen in a way that I can read
Got it, yeah.
So it begins with characters existing in the sort of comfort zone. They find they need something, so they go into unfamiliar terrain. They search and they adapt to unfamiliar terrain. They find something that they want and pay a high price for doing this. So this is a test that Harmon measured all his stories against, and it's a test you can also apply to a number of other stories, and often you find a good story can pretty much with this story price for getting what they wanted. They return to the familiar ground feeling changed, and and there's a whole story circle.
I like that. That's good.
So while I mean I can agree with Scooby on from a subjective artist's perspective. So what I mean is it's quite blunt. Like there's certain things artists do and get away with that is not art. Art to me is helping people. Nurses are artists as far as I'm concerned. Art is altruism. So I'm yes, like is say Dan Wooten's story or Morgan McSweeney's story, yes, but it's not art. I don't even know if dark art is an acceptable term, really, when I think about it. Quick story, actually, about this board, maybe to demonstrate what I mean. Maybe a wee trigger warning coming up here. So if you're feeling a bit out of sorts tonight, avert your eyes for 10 seconds. I wrote this on the back of a abortion so-called pro-life placard, which I tore down off a lamppost with a pair of scissors, ran away with, and painted Dan Harmon's Story Circle on the back of it.
Can you read what was actually on that? I never managed to read all of it.
I could, but I don't know the point.
Oh, by the way, Man Stokes was a fucking monster. She was a eugenicist and a fucking Nazi.
Okay, another 20 seconds. Murray Stokes, Dr. Doctor,
Renewal.
is that a joke? Mary Steele's
Maybe.
Doctor, who's there? Faniel Darty struck off. Oh no, it says struck bum off. Irish fighting for life after abortion in nuclear clinic. And look, citations from the Daily Mail, BBC, and Irish Independent. None of which, but this professes to be published by the Belfast Telegraph. So, like, would we actually find this story anywhere? But look, Dan Harmon's story circle is far more important than these.
It is indeed.
Nut jobs.
How would Mary Stopes find Doctor Who? What would she
Scooby,
think?
I hope you don't mind me spotlighting your comment there to take down. I enjoyed getting some comfort from that. I'm just going to throw a wild card out here, which is I'm done with sex.
Ooh. I was when I read that one, I thought that's actually a good question, Jacqueline. That is. What do we think, Andy?
I think okay, it's not something I thought too much about with classic Who, but I could certainly point to instances of Smith and certainly Capaldi of being on what we humans would call the spectrum. I mean, it's pretty explicit with Capaldi, isn't it? I must care. She cares, so I don't have to.
Literally, that man grew up a mile away from where I currently sit.
Show off.
Exploito. I love Capaldi desperately. He's an amazing actor, especially as a doctor. And I remember the right wing going, they're going to have to put a swear box in the TARDIS now. Shut up. No, they're not. He's an actor. God damn it.
I noticed just yesterday, the YouTube channel Clever Dick Films, which does wonderful 2-hour documentaries on each doctor, they just put out a Peter Capaldi one after about like 2 years in the works, and these are really hard labored video essays. Like they've really sort of done the study on it.
They've done the research,
over the writing. So really
wow. Post a link in the Discord for me, would you?
I might do that.
No rush.
I might do that. So I think we're coming up to the bit where you talk lots and lots. But actually, is there anything more you want to say about storytelling and Doctor Who and how it approaches that?
Some of my favourite storylines have actually had an impact IRL. The ones with when we get Donna Noble back and her daughter, the way the one with the Meep. I thought that was really handled well. The writing for that one was amazing, and it was drawing from actual real life, what's happening here in the UK. I thought that was handled amazingly. Thought that was a really good one, and the Meep was mental.
Lovely
and fluffy and cuttable. No, you're a villain.
I think I probably disagree. I mean, I'm
okay.
Generally disagreeable. But I found out, no, I adore Donna as a character. I think it was a horrendous decision, the way she was initially written out. It was a cruelty. And the way she was brought back didn't really satisfy me. Or in terms of
it didn't give it
the way her mental return was explained. And I love the actress that plays Donna's daughter as well. A fine addition, and actually I wish we could have seen a lot more of her.
So do I, yeah.
But I feel she was also underutilized.
Yeah.
And I mean, the bulk of the meat stuff was the Space Star Beast was very very satisfying. Yeah.
Super happy
Um,
didn't get it. He thought the
yes.
Meep was quite a fun character. Don't get me wrong, he thought, yeah, that's the villain. He called it straight away. By the way, I'm married to a genius Whovian. He knows a lot. He has his takes, don't get me wrong. We disagree about some of our takes on Doctor Who, obviously, but he knows all the lore and stuff. That the man is retentiveness gets bandied about a lot, but he is quite good at recalling lots of different episodes and different themes run throughout Doctor Who. Super Happy's slightly older than Andy, by the way. So his main Doctor was obviously Tom Baker, because he's older. Out of the modern iterations, he quite likes Capaldi as well. Oddly enough, who'd have thought that? Glaswegian, liking a fellow Glaswegian, never been known.
Yeah, Katie asked me this during the week. Mine was the first. I mean, Doctor Who. I vaguely remember Tom Baker at the back of my head, but forgive me, I don't remember any of the Tom Baker I watched. Maybe the one with the somebody in chat is going to show me up with the lighthouse and the Scotsman and the Rootans. But it was really Sylvester McCoy's last two seasons I watched properly. And then I came in late, mid-Tennant. I came in, attached myself to the Moffat stuff, Capaldi. But somewhere in between all that, went back and watched Hartnell, Troughton, Pertwee, and about half of Tom Baker, which is actually a lot. Half of Tom Baker's loads. So I could never finish that.
He was there for 6 years, so there's lots of episodes.
I think it was 7 actually.
I thought it was 6. Is it 7? Fucking hell.
But I must have been aware, because I remember being quite cross at discovering that you could have Doctor Who where the Doctor would only be about for 3 years. And I was like, well, hold on, that cheapens regeneration. The idea should be you get in, you get comfortable with the Doctor, and they're there. I mean, think of how much Hartnell did, 100, 150 episodes before 200, before he regenerated?
Give me a minute.
Was it horror? Okay. Yes, it was horror Fine Rock. Thanks, Luke. The Lighthouse and the Rootans. Jackie H had a comment I have bookmarked in my head to read. I might not remember Classic Who that well, but it seemed that the episodes didn't deal with the personal lives of the Doctor's companions the way it did in New Who. Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is something New Who does a lot better generally, doesn't it? And even Chris Chibnall, when we see that the lives of the classic companions return, and that there's been an impact on their lives, and calling them out of that sort of abandonment. I mean, yeah, it sings to my love of continuity, but it's also a far more humane approach in storytelling. I did not read the original Star Beast comic book. No, I'm pretty sure it's been republished since the TV series. I did meet Pat Mills, and who was the illustrator? It was Carlos Esquerra. I met Carlos Esquerra as well. Yeah. Or no, it wasn't Carlos. It was. I do my search while Katie finishes hers.
Damn,
Dave Gibbons. Hello?
I'm still here. Damn it, stupid bloody IMDb's crap now.
Welcome to, we're going to mix things up a bit in this stream. Instead of my internet going out, Katie's is going to go out. Yeah. Come on, search engine. All right. 134 episodes. There you go. Not counting his return in the Three Doctors. Katie.
Bloody hell. That's a lot. Yeah. Got it. I went on to his wiki. That is a lot of episodes.
134 episodes. So the thing to remember is back then Doctor Who was being shown weekly for most of the year. So you probably find similar number for Patrick Troughton. And even John Pertwee, his run was like getting 20 to 30 episodes a series.
It was, yeah.
So what were we were talking passionately before we came on stream about YouTuber reactions. So one of my habits lately have been watching a lot of reaction videos over the last year, despite me going in very jaded, having no thinking that there's somehow like half-assed productions, and yeah, it's a prejudice I carry, and a lot of them are half-assed productions that leapfrog on the back of copyrighted material for their own personal gain, and some provide insightful commentary and good AV company. But anyway, I've watched a few younger women review things like Doctor Who and various other franchises, Buffy and Angel and stuff. And I'll see them sit there and they break out in tears and they start sobbing. And so my Jack reflex action is, pull yourself together. It's just a TV show. Goodness, you're gonna break down crying over something like this. But then I did my second think on this with a bit of objectivity. Like, we've all sort of welled up a little bit in certain moments, and that's actually the power of the writer. It's something I've taken for granted because I've been doing it for so long, that my ability is to make people cry, to make people laugh, to make people thinking about. So if some woman watching Buffy or Doctor Who breaks down in tears, that's an entirely appropriate response, or it can be.
Yes.
Because that's kind of what we bastards set out to do. So I guess that's the last thing I had to say on storytelling, but we probably should move on to talking about medicine and health. Katie?
Yes. The first one that comes to mind for me, especially, is the Martha's introduction. So, literally kidnapping an entire fucking hospital of patients and staff and visitors and things like that. I thought the way they handled that, especially with that, God, I forget what she was called, what sort of creature she was. And the way they handled that is showing how things actually work in a hospital. I thought that was quite good. A good way to show how a hospital runs, what the staff do, how the patients are, how people visiting them interacts and things like that. I thought that was a really good episode, and a fantastic introduction to a companion. So literally two
100.
doctors on a TARDIS. Loved it.
Martha's not my favorite companion. She's quite low actually on my list, but her introduction is phenomenal.
I love Martha.
If they had the Martha that we got in that first episode, if she had been present throughout the series, I would have loved her to have been doing a second one. There's that. I'm going to bring up that line before you bring it up, where she's talking to the doctor, and he says, "Oh, I'm the doctor." And actually, I forget the line, but basically, Martha's line is, "Around here, you've got to earn that title," which is a wonderful sort of collision of realism and science fantasy, and basically realism
Yes.
kicking science fantasy up the butt, like it so richly deserves to be. I thought that was such a strong line. Um, and I would have loved a lot more of that sort of stuff from Martha throughout this. There's
Yeah.
at least one other moment I'm thinking of. You probably know the same.
Yes. Don't get me wrong. I've had people saying to me, so her being medically trained and stuff is just getting diminished by the doctor being there. No, no, no. It's actually enhancing her. You expletive. The fact that there was two, well, basically all of his experience plus the Gallifreyan society is different from Earth-based society, essentially, especially here in the UK. Just because he didn't get trained on Earth doesn't mean he's any less of a scientist. So yeah, the way the way he gets portrayed, especially as being a sort of a science communicator, and the way the Doctor, like, obviously goes around adventuring in different time zones, different periods of history, different planets, and everything like that. Sorts of lots of different social interactions that happen throughout the series of Doctor Who from 63 onwards, essentially. I think the way they've written some of the Doctors, the way they've acted and what they've done to expand knowledge and educate us viewers, hopefully the younger generations as well, including myself, when I was young.
Well, the Pertwee stuff is a bit more STEM coded, isn't it?
It is, yes, it is very, very STEM coded, especially when he got trapped here amongst us mammals.
Laboratories and actual working on
Yeah.
stuff. The scene I was thinking of with Martha is in Human Nature, The Family of Blood, where she's explaining to her work colleague that she was training to be a doctor, and she starts naming off the various bones of the hand. I thought that was a really nice touch. And that's kind of speaks to the promise of Martha as a companion that um, I mean, I'm a bit old fuddy-duddy in this way that I think television,
No, 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 Jacqueline, you're
entertainment
correct.
television can be used to educate. And I would have loved to have seen Martha be the vehicle for that. Like, I don't know all the bones in the hand, but Martha made a good attempt at
She
that.
did, yes, she did. Rejoice, comrades, sozzled snake. I
So,
sozzled. No, no, no. You got that one. You got that correct, Jackie. That was very heartbreaking for me. Super Hubby was celebrating. He didn't like Donna. Each to their own. At the end of the day, he's got his favourites, doctors and companions and stuff, but he didn't really like her.
fuck you, Super Hobby. You're just wrong about that one. No one fucking slags off Donna, right?
I love Cat. I love Catherine Tate as the companion, but her other work outside of Doctor Who, not a big fan. But I thought she was one of the best companions. We disagree. Don't worry. I'm not in danger or anything. Don't worry about that. He likes Ace and he likes Rose
Um,
and he loved the ponds.
okay, let's talk about the ponds because we have another nurse, don't we?
Yes. Frisbee
I
Rory.
have, so we have Rory Pond. Sorry, Williams.
No, Rory Pond. You got it right.
Rory Pond, yeah. So we don't. I mean, we get to see the hospital where Rory works. I think once, maybe.
Yes, just the once. Yeah, just the once.
There's not a lot of stuff where he talks about nursing or being a nurse. specifically, but I think it's something that is all over his performance. Is that level of altruism? He's ultimately a nursing character. He's a carer. He's a, that's in every
Yeah.
story DNA of Rory Pond.
Damn,
Slash Rory.
I didn't check the result of my poll, actually. I'll go and check that now. Where's the poll view results?
And just to come back to that sort of Martha Donna or Martha Doctor clash, we have the same sort of dynamic in that clash going on with Rory, who is often at heads with the doctor who claims to be at various stages a medical expert, and Rory, who is actually working in the profession.
Yeah.
I think that's something that needs interrogated. It was always a very interesting thing to me as a writer, the idea that the doctor actually is a doctor, that is, beyond identity and actual attribute. And I think that's way more a doctor of medicine, a doctor of anthropology. And I think that's much more interesting to explore in story terms. Sorry, did you want to share poll results?
Yeah. I'll ask you the question. I won't give you the 10 minutes I give my chat.
Well,
Who's the better character, the Face of Woe or Captain Jack Harkness?
Spoilers, but aren't they the same?
They are.
Should we give a couple of minutes to people that aren't on your Twitch chat to see if they want to answer that? And I'll think about the answer and I'll give you a proper answer in that time. So, who's better, the Face of Bo or Captain Jack Harkness? Oh God, I've got my answer, but I'll see if I can let the chat influence me on this one. Yeah.
I am seeing nothing. You'll get my answer. It's something. Thank you, Luke, by the way. Captain Floyd. Yes, Jacqueline. Yeah, River was the Pond's daughter. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Yeah, it's what, like 16 years old at this point, I suppose.
It is, yes.
Hang
on, give me a minute. Yeah, it's 16. Yeah, it just worked out. 16 years ago. Oh, save me.
Is the doctor? Oh, this is a good one, actually. File under ethics. Is the doctor a good man / woman?
Define those terms. Apparently, we can define those terms now. Thanks, Supreme Court, you bunch of bastards.
No. I've got 2 episodes I listed under ethics. Kill the Moon and the Zygon invasion / inversion. I Kill the Moon first. I mean, we can go back and forward on whether that's an analogy for abortion rights. I think you can take it either way or both ways. It is an analogy or it's just a science fantasy yarn. Granted, it's been a while since I watched it. Sorry, go ahead.
I remember that Jacqueline, by the way, I remember that piece of skin in the episode with the Face of Bo. Can't remember the series. Moisturize me. That was Cassandra, and she was evil, and she kidnaps Rose. Delightful. Cassandra, go and do one. Really good villain, really good character, Cassandra, even though she was basically just a sheet of skin. Extreme beauty, everyone. The beauty
Okay.
standards go a bit mad.
Back on course. Kitty's a terrible one for tangents. Kitty, you are a terrible one for tangents.
Sorry.
How do you feel the show does on? Come on, you're asking for your medical training. How do you feel the show does on ethics?
It does push the envelope. Don't get me wrong on that. The way it communicates in certain episodes with some of the doctors, especially Tennant, oddly enough, quite good communication. But it does tend to either freak out or otherwise infuriate certain elements in society. And I just keep on saying to these kind of people, it's like, no, it's a entertainment product to begin with, and the way they communicate some of the themes that they see happening IRL, especially where science and communication and history and anthropology are concerned. Oh, Doctor Who's gone, well, have you watched all of Doctor Who? I have. It's always been that, so it's always communicated it's sort of centre left for certain policy positions that the likes of Mary Whitehouse, blast from the past for that one.
It's a bit of a stretch to take that moment where John Pertwee talks about a woman's norks in an advert for like dishwasher or something. To consider that canon is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I think
the
Moon is a really interesting one in that it's set within that Capaldi era where he's quite an unstable character, and essentially it's the biggest sort of abandonment of Clara and the supporting characters to deal with their own fate. It's a bit merciless. It's definitely alien. It's a really interesting one. But then on the flip side, we look at the Zygon invasion and the inversion and how that makes its approach as a peacemaker to immigrants and approaches that problem or perception of a problem with realism, with humanity, or the best of what humanity.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of ones that have actually shaped the way I think, and the way it shaped like my friends and my family members, especially my two sisters. And my mum quite likes Doctor Who. Huge fan of Tennant. That was her favourite Doctor. Her first Doctor was the first Doctor, oddly enough.
Wow.
My mum's in her 70s, by the way. So she remembers when Doctor Who started when she was 10, roughly. So she basically grew up with the Doctor, like communicating these sort of science, social history, social construction, things of that nature. She always thought it was quite good. But then she saw her three girls really get into it and get inspired by Doctor Who, go into like science. It's always a good thing. I'm glad that has happened because there's lots of my niblets, my younger, my eldest niece. Lots of their friends have went into science because of Doctor Who, because they're huge they love science, truth, scientific fact, and things like that. And the way the way it's been portrayed throughout all of the Doctors, whoever it may be, whoever your Doctor is, it has inspired lots of young people to go into science. It is amazing to see.
Yeah. When a classic Who always had a fallback on having mostly the companion be female. And there's a trope, annoying trope of the female as the screaming helpless victim. But there was also a lot of other stuff where the female companion would absolutely plug into the science of it. Um, I remember the character before Joe Grant was like a unit scientific advisor. I think she was only in it for a
Yes,
season. But like right from the outset, you've got Barbara, who's a school teacher in history, if I remember rightly.
yes,
Um,
she was
a
history.
number of other women that um, their roles aren't just to be screaming victims. That there's maybe those
What was
elements
Sarah
aren't
Jane
explored, but they are there on when we get introduced to the character and referred to
before
occasionally.
he dropped into her life? What was Sarah Jane?
A reporter.
Oh God, so she was.
Yep. And I think
I
it's
like
something
Sarah
she
Jane.
so carried on. Um, um, and actually, if you've never seen the children's series, the Sarah Jane Adventures, I'd really recommend it because it manages to capture the fun of Doctor Who in a non-patronizing for adults and for children kind of way. Um,
Yeah,
a lot better to spend your time with the Sarah Jane Adventures than Torchwood, which shall not be mentioned again in this stream. We're going to kick people out
I
and ban
loved
people for
I
that.
loved the Sarah Jane Adventures. I watched them, even though I was a woman in her 30s when it came out. Or was it in my late 20s? I can't remember when the Sarah Jane program came out.
Yeah, it was about 2007, maybe
So about
2000.
20 years ago. So yeah, I'd be in my late 20s. I thought they were amazing. That was Alexander Smith. Alexander Armstrong that played Mr. Smith there, hurt and pure
Oh, all
in the
right.
attic.
I'm
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
take
that was
a
Alexander
quick
Armstrong.
toilet break. Be right back.
Okay. Hello, chat. Oh. Oh! Sozold, thank you for the gift. Praise be. Sozold is amazing, everyone. Thank you, Sozold. Please post in chat who your favourite Doctor is. If you're a Doctor Who fan, of course. I'm assuming most of you are because you're on this live stream. Sturmer is a Cyberman, come to think of it. You've got a point there, Sozold, actually. Mm. So if Star Wars is Cyberman, what's West Streeting? Rejoice, comrades. Orchestran. Hello, darling. How you doing, my dear? Is that your doctor? That was Super Hubby's doctor as well. The daughters I had growing up were Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy. And as a standalone movie, wasn't it, with Paul McGann, wasn't it? Yeah. But my favourite new doctor is, I'm split down the middle. I say Capaldi to show appreciation for a Glasgow lad. People say that David Tennant's from Glasgow. No, he's not. He's from Paisley. There is a difference. I love Tennant. He was amazing. And I love Matt Smith as well. It's quite good. But appreciation to Capaldi from being here in Springburn. He was born and raised up here.
Yeah. Andrew at the window for cigarettes.
Oh.
Drugs, 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 drugs. Right, so let's keep the pace going, Katie. Before
yeah.
you need to use a loo yourself. Health, medicine, more. I've got some more notes I could prompt you with, but I don't want to control the narrative.
Oh no. Give me prompts and I can go off.
Okay. Oh, well, here's one episode. Actually, you like this one, accessibility,
Ah,
and I've got the whale down for that. Do you remember the whale? Um,
mm.
let's see if I can do this without spoilers,
You will
because it
be
is a
doing. You will
sequel
be
to
doing
another
spoilers to me.
episode. Um, did, so the last series we had a actually not only the whale, but after the flood and onto the lake, both, and I think there's been another one, have featured characters with audio impairments, with hearing issues, who have communicated through sign language.
Oh yes. Um,
And I'm sure there's been a fourth instance of this in Modern Who. They've really sort of got on top of this.
they have yes. To make it more accessible, they've see when you go to like a shop or a bank or anything like that, and there's a closed loop, so hearing aid users can use that. The BBC adapted it and made it easier for people hard of hearing
It's
and
taking a
kind
minute.
of balance it with people who no sight but really good. Excuse me.
Oh, just take. You want to grab some water?
It's not. I finished taking my antibiotics, so right now they've helped release some of the pressure and take away the infection. But right now, I will not get too graphic. I'm coughing up stuff. That I will leave it at
Didn't I tell you if you hung about, you'd see me and Katie coming up on drugs?
that. I
Trailed
was
right
on.
in
I
the
was on a
front.
for full clarity, everyone. I was on a 5-day course of amoxicillin, which is basically a penicillin derivative, to clear the bronchitis that I had, so I could actually breathe better, get rid of the infection, so I can actually talk. But right now, I'm coughing to get rid of things that were lingering in my lungs. It's not pretty.
Both Under the Flood, which is or Under the Flood After the Flood, which is the Base Under Siege story with a
Yes,
um, signing character and her interpreter, and The Well, which is okay, a spoiler here, a sequel to Midnight. Both of those use signing characters as kind of key to the plot, but The Well particularly does. Well, actually, no, both of them, those pieces do the character in as fully formed, well, really well fleshed out in their own right. So it's
yes,
not just disability tokenism. It's not just issues. It's people, which is a point. Because good storytelling is about character. You might think it's about plot, but it's about character.
it is a bit cat.
Hard
Yeah.
lesson to learn, but it is.
The way they've treated, the way they, God, I'm trying to remember some of my favourite ones now. Damn it. Like the one with Donna's daughter. I quite like that one. And God, I can see the episodes, but I can't remember them. They're in like a social media, a social media sort of society.
Okay, yeah, I want to come on to that later. Actually, that's one of the ones I've got
No
marked out.
problem.
Or actually, it might be two, but yeah, definitely the one you're thinking of. I have to. Another.
Well, was that Matt Smith?
I think it's Judy.
Was it
But
shooting that one?
quite
Right.
possibly. I mean, social media pops up in Tennant's Run as well.
It does, yes.
Yeah. There's one final area I had marked down, which is I not medicine technically, but health and such is the area of grief and how that's dealt with, primarily a
Yes.
couple of times in Capaldi's run through Death in Heaven, where Clara is coming to terms or reacting quite rawly to the death of her partner, Danny. And later in Heaven Sent, where Capaldi is also similarly raw in reacting to the death of Clara. And because the latter story is set over like 2,000 years or something
Yeah.
ridiculous like that, it delivers a really powerful message on how, and this is just my perspective as a 52-year-old, how grief is kind of something that is kind of with you for most of your life from the moment it starts. And it is easy sometimes, and sometimes you forget. Um, but it is kind of, and sometimes it's acutely painful, and sometimes you can live with it and just be a bit sad. But it's a long-term process, and
Yeah.
that's okay. It's okay for it to be a long-term process.
With myself and my middle sister, when we lost our gran, so that's my mum's mum, Doctor Who managed to help us grieve, help us express ourselves a lot, very much within the family, especially to each other. My middle sister loved Gran so much. Don't get me wrong, I love my Gran as well. I dealt with the grief a little bit better than she did. I'm sorry, my dear. I don't mean to call you out on this one, but we all handle grief differently, obviously. But me and my sister managed to find solace in watching Doctor Who together. That and B5 and other sort of sci fantasy productions as well when we lost her. I particularly hit
Yeah.
her, and being able to connect through Doctor Who with her was really quite good for our relationship. And being able to deal with grief like that with Doctor Who as a common thread through both of our lives, it was great for us. It was. My younger sister's not into Doctor Who. She's more like your reality TV and like your soaps, like Brookside, or not Brookside, well, Brookside obviously, but like EastEnders, Hollyoaks, things like that.
Um, I was reading an article actually on how it came to be that David Tennant returned to Doctor Who, and it was actually born out of, you'll remember this, from Doctor Who magazine editor had proposed doing watch-alongs during COVID, and it was something that people all across the globe did, taking to Twitter with various actors and writers joining in on that. So yeah, it was a great way of getting through, like, a couple of hours of the pandemic and establishing connections, keeping connections going. Um, and yeah, when Tennant and actress's name who plays Donna, when they got involved in one of those watch-alongs with
Catherine Tate.
Russell T Davies, Catherine Tate, yeah, when they got involved in one of those, that's how the conversation started about them coming back. So, but yeah, beyond that, yeah, TV can bring us together. It can do the job really well. Um, and just because Katie mentioned Babylon 5, we're going to talk about Babylon 5 in a future stream. I'm committed to that. But for now, Doctor Who.
And you'll hear me rant about endlessly about The River of Souls, which is one of the best films that came out of Babylon 5. Everyone, go and watch Babylon 5 now. I demand of you. Do it.
Yeah, it's required reading for a future stream. I don't quite stand behind River of Souls, but you know what I might do, Katie? I might go and rewatch River of Souls in preparation for that conversation. We'll see.
Thank you.
We'll see. So we're just going to come to the end of the Doctor Who and medicine and health kind of thing, and go on in our last traditional hour to talk about the social sciences. But if anybody has any kind of final thoughts on this area, feel free to drop them in chat, to voice them, and not to be worried about this
Oh,
hour cutoff as well.
God,
Throw it out there again.
he became the cyber controller. What was that actor? I thought that series, those episodes were amazing. Was that Trigger?
Can't remember. The character's name was John Lumick, right?
It was, yes. Lumic Industries. Was it Trigger? I can't remember. Orchestra or Jacqueline, can you go and check that for me? I'm sure it was. Okay.
And if Luke's still in chat on mobile, I'm sure he'll be on it too. Do you need a break, Katie? Do you need?
I do
You haven't
indeed.
taken a loo break since we started.
Yeah. I will.
And Katie was on us. I will hold the fort here. And
Give
yeah,
me 2 minutes.
I will drive. I will drive away our view count, so there'll be like one person left by the time you come back, and that'll be me.
I will be back. Do not worry.
So let's see if I can do widescreen, so you can appreciate my wide load. Yeah. Katie was in a. I popped on YouTube to see about 5 o'clock to see if there was anybody I could watch. Well, it might be a live stream out the media on the far right. And she immediately followed up by going on to a Discord video chat. So she's kind of been sat in that chair for a lot of the last 7 or 8 hours, and has definitely earned her stretch. Orga Strand's comment in the chat made me laugh. Your secondhand smoke is traveling very far, lol, in relation to Katie coughing. So Katie's got this poll, Captain Jack Harkness or the face of Bo. We're probably going to bring that up when Katie comes back. So let us know what you think, if you have an opinion. I will I believe that I'll read that out Orchestram when Katie returns. That's interesting. Yeah, I have a little Doctor Who side story to tell. Actually, and Katie and I did a really brilliant stream about Doctor Who in Belfast, where I talk about, well, I mean, why Doctor Who has never been in Northern Ireland, but where he kind of is in what was like a combination of me researching stuff and fan fiction, and it's really quite fascinating. If you find the stream Doctor Who in Northern Ireland, I've time-stamped the relative parts, and it's a really entertaining watch. So go do that. When I was living in Oxford, I spent a year with Cartoonists Collective, who had a market stall in Camden. And one of them was a guy called, well, the leader of our gang was a young fella called Ollie Smith, who's now a games designer. And Ollie was a massive Doctor Who fan, and he was very keen to break into the market as a writer, which he actually did. He wrote a few Doctor Who novels. He actually wrote the very first Matt Smith audio adventure. I think he may have been involved with one of the Doctor Who games. Contentiously, you can say, one of the ways in which Doctor Who creatives recruited one another for the various authorialness was through the informal network of Doctor Who professional fans. You know, the rule, it is who you know. So, and I believe this still happens. The Fitzroy Tavern in London once a month hosts a lot of Doctor Who professionals and high-profile fans. And I accompanied Ollie to one of these meets one night, which I presume is where Ollie got making the introductions to let him submit material to get hired. And one of the people down there was the then editor of Doctor Who magazine, Clayton Hickman. Clayton Hickman or Jonathan Hickman? Clayton Hickman, yeah. Who's a big bloke with a bald head. And he's quite a nice bloke as far as I'm aware, but he looks very aggressive. And on the night in question, Clayton Hickman appeared in front of Ollie, with me behind Ollie, with a big threatening pose, very much joking with Ollie, and made some sort of friendly, aggressive remark, very much intended as that sort of thing between buddying meals. And just a moment, dropped a fag. But very much pretending that he was going to assault Ollie. Of course, me not knowing Clayton and not knowing their relationship, completely misread this. And I pushed my way to the front, ready to take on. One moment, Katie. I see you lurking in the background there. Sorry. So I was just recounting my story with Clayton Hickman.
Yeah, I was listening. Yeah, I heard.
Magazine. Yeah, caught that. So I pushed my way forward, ready to fight Hickman, and then no idea who he was, and then just noticed that actually this is a social, friendly banter between Ollie and Clayton. So a minute out of sync, I could have been done with assaulting the editor of Doctor Who magazine. Hey ho, it's just the life of a regular Irishman. Drink and fight.
I've read that comment now. My darling, I dragged with Jason.
August Strand writes, you know I have a Doctor Who connection. I worked with Blair, David's brother, and my friend Jason Arnott wrote some of the Doctor Who books and audiobooks. That's my Doctor Who connection. Yeah, I'm aware of Jason Arnott somehow, despite not being a Whovian. Cool.
I've met him when he was doing reviews for gigs that I was going to on a regular basis, and he found out that I was a leftist, I was communist. Oh, yeah. So how do you? Yeah, he's
Jason started
Jason
as a writer for Kerrang Metal magazine. Start there. Yeah, I just like to read the comments that we're going to talk about, because with going out over 5 different channels, they may not be accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
Mr. E, welcome to the chat. We are blessed by your presence. Thank you for joining us. We are talking Doctor Who and Sciencey-Wiencey, as you may have guessed by the title on this video, which you may have seen, and the rather excellent thumbnail that Katie and I worked to build together tonight. It's kind of cool.
I love it. It's one of the best ones. Don't get me wrong, the ones for Victorian film, top tier, but the one for tonight, love it.
Thank you. The formatting challenges with working with the background image of a rectangle image, like a YouTube thumbnail has to be, and the prevalence of circles presented a bit of a challenge for the images Katie and I were composing, which were square. And then once I unlocked it, we could crop those images of ourselves circular, that the design pieces fell into place.
Don't worry, chat. My lovely comrade here will be teaching me how to do that, so I have good thumbnails for my YouTube.
Working on it. I see a really sweet comment by Doug, but first, Captain Jack Harkness, or the face of Bo. Chat, please weigh in on this. I'm going to make my decision now. I'm still not happy with it. So, Captain Jack Harkness, as we get him in pre-Torchwood, yes. The Face of Bo is also a lot more quieter and more
Yes, yes.
very interesting and a lot
Yeah.
more contemplative.
Yes, yes.
My problem is where Captain Jack goes with regards Torchwood, essentially overseeing a very rapey contingent of stealth hacking shits. So if I can have Captain Jack year one or year two, year pre-Torchwood Captain Jack, that's my vote. Um, if I can have the Face of Bo, but just as the Face of Bo, not Captain Jack Harkness with all the shit he's done. Can I vote in both categories?
Of course you can. Of course.
Of course, right. Uh,
Don't get me wrong. I love Cap. I like Jack. He's one of the most fascinating characters. But for me, it's a feasible, especially with those cats as nurses and doctors.
good point. Yeah. Even with my dislike of cats, those are those are great cats. Yeah.
Ugh.
Don't breathe my secondhand smoke, Katie. So, do you want to tell us the results of your poll in Twitch?
Feasible. Feasible. Thank you, Luke.
What was the final score?
All feasible. 35 votes.
All unanimous. Wow.
Unanimous.
That's a turn up.
Feasible.
Faceable.
It's like I've been educating my chat. Who'd have thunk it?
Doug has a really good point to make. I'm going to show on screen, which will segue us nicely into the next section. Doctor Who has always been portrayed as an advanced empath. I don't agree, but I do agree that that's where he is mostly portrayed and where he is the most, or she is the most interesting. But lately, a section of Doctor Who fans get upset about her wokeness, gender, race, etc. What does that say about changes in society?
Quite a lot, actually.
Do you want to start this off, Katie?
I would, yes, thank you. The way they've written the Doctor, especially the new iterations like Eccleston onwards, a lot of people within the media are like, our media is fucking garbage. Most of the press, most of our media are they call us snowflakes and you're too woke and genders and pronouns and bio and all that sort of nonsense. The way they reacted to certain story and trope elements that they put into Doctor Who from like the new iteration of Doctor Who, the way that's been portrayed, especially, I'll go back up. Can I see that comment?
I think.
Yeah, don't get part of my wokeness and it shows there's been a shift within society, especially where media is concerned, be it like reality TV, get me out, like I'm a celebrity, blah blah blah, Love in Paradise, all those ones, or Big Brother. The way it's being portrayed is more on clickbait, essentially, and some of the writers within Doctor Who, especially Chibnall and Moffat and RTD, have actually done this. They've actually challenged the media narrative, and most of the people who are on the right of the political spectrum have went and started moaning and crying and stuff. No, Doctor Who's gone woke. Have you not watched it, you idiots? It's always been like that to a certain extent.
Yeah. I think when we're talking about audiences, there's three sort of overlapping circles. So there's what might be called fans or even diehard fans, and so talking about them first, there's always whatever the franchise, or in most franchises, not all franchises actually, there is a a minority of very vocally dominant people who don't really get the spirit of it, people who are come equipped with bigotries, who shout the loudest, and like, yes, I mean, Doug is right. The doctor is an advanced empath, a healer to go, but yet, yeah, people that kind of can't wrap their heads around how that works. The next oversecting one is the general public, and that overlaps with the media, and the media who thrive on, like, I'm thinking here of the traditional legacy mainstream media who thrive on clickbait, on tabloid, on sensationalism, on horror stories, on punching,
and
attacking the
grievance.
vulnerable. And that is where a lot of the general public get their news, or even if they don't agree with those perspectives, are fed those perspectives and pushed towards them, even if they rally back. There's some stuff that gets through. The other element is the general public who consider themselves fans, who don't actually watch the show and don't have investment in it. So I've seen this all through comics, because I grew up reading comics and decided early on I wanted to work in the form. And there'll be constant pushback to, you can't change Batman's costume, or you can't change the way Desperate Dan looks, or Wonder Woman is gay now. Actually, she was gay in the 1950s, I'm quite sure. In fact, she was heavily threesomes and BDSM. So take that, modern America.
More recently, she's been quoted as bisexual in certain aspects.
Yeah. Oh well, that was present right at the beginning. It was two females and a male in a consensual three-way relationship that came up with Wonder Woman. So it's right back there in the character's origins. So it's this kind of, and you regularly had people complain. I remember you regularly had people complain about the Beano and the Dandy, but these were people who hadn't read those comics in decades, and we see the same sort of stuff in Doctor Who. I do think there's, maybe this is an old argument, but there is a difference between different portrayals of the Doctor and bad storytelling. I think the greatest move, Chibnall, okay, I haven't seen a lot of Chibnall, but the greatest move, in my opinion, my closet echo chamber, is making the Doctor a woman. Fantastic masterstroke, and long overdue. Maybe not genius because it was overdue, but yeah, kudos.
Did you like Jodie?
I liked some of the stuff. I think ultimately she is hampered by the direction she's been given. And I saw a lot of stuff where she didn't rally against that, where she kind of seemed happy to fall into line. But my Chibnall hate is too strong to really give her a fair hearing.
Yeah. I'll give him his due. Chibnall, kind of good, kind of bad. Yeah. Do you know? I go on more on the actors they choose to play either the Doctor or the companion, and either the villains or the characters within each of the episodes, or the running theme through certain Doctors, like the arc, if you wish. I can see why I can see how they're getting frustrated, shouting, "No, Doctor Who's gone woke" and all that sort of nonsense and stuff. But
so the next hour, we're going to talk about Doctor Who and the social sciences. And initially, I was going to talk about this in terms of sociology. And I mean, because Katie and I did find a couple of really good articles on sociology, which we are going to put into Katie's Discord. I don't think we have time to cover them, but where I'm going in my notes is less about sociology and focus, but the various sort of strands that lead out of that, the various kind of subsections and other parts of the scientific humanities that overlap in that, particularly anthropology is one. But starting on class identity, we already mentioned earlier in relation to Rose representing a working class woman. But in terms of politics and class and income, there's quite a few good examples from modern Who. There's a Planet of the Ood, is it? Where essentially the Ood are making sneakers in a Nike factory. They're wage slaves essentially, and it's a really great episode in Tennant's last series for talking about capitalist greed. And I mean, the analogy is laid on fairly thickly, but not so thickly in the story. It's wanting to go and sit and rewatch, maybe with one of you someday. Turn Left, which I wonder if the wonderful political media channel on YouTube, Turn Left, takes her name from, is a wonderful analysis of fascist creep, which puts Catherine Tate and Bernard Cribbins at its centre. In examining the slide of Britain into totalitarianism, in a sometimes subtle, sometimes quite heavy-handed way, but it's a compelling story execution.
That the vibes going through that gave me. Also, he also turns up in Doctor Who, the John Hurt version of. 1984. It gave me sort of those sort of insult vibes. That episode.
Yeah, I think it was having seen 1984 before that, I think it was very much modelled after that.
It was,
story style, but stands in its own right.
It does, yeah. My favorite one with Donna was Pompeii. I thought that episode was really quite good. Okay,
yeah, but off tangent, off topic. You're very off topic tonight, Katie.
Sorry.
This is what happens when you sit broadcasting for like 6-7 hours. A couple of Burks who I think is probably not in the chat now, has been quiet for a while. Do check out their channel. They do some phenomenal stuff, and Katie's appearance there earlier. I was going to throw up a two-parter that I don't actually like, but is quite good for talking about the topic. The topic is environmentalism, and the two-parter is the Sontaran stratagem and the poison sky, which talks a lot about fossil fuels.
It does, yes.
Do you want to?
Hi, Adam.
Talk about that a bit, or explain that? We got a raid.
It was.
Layla's return. Omaha, Langley.
The way they destroy, obviously, I can't remember their first appearance. When did the Sontarans first appear?
Oh, it was. I think it was John Pertwee, Castle story, Sarah Jane. Yeah,
that was a while ago. So the way they use the Sontarans is these sort of environmental wreckers, siphoning off the resources of the planet. The way they done that one was Spawn, as far as that eco-socialist, as far as I'm concerned. The way they portrayed how they were actually literally destroying planet Earth was really quite good.
We actually
showing how
absolutely do have a raid because my rating, the stats I can see have just went up from 9 to 58. So welcome everybody who's just joined us. Katie Marshall, medical degree, Andy Luke, communications degree, because we're talking about Doctor Who and the social sciences at the moment. I guess one of our lovely benefactors has sent you over to raid us. Welcome. Mr. Logan,
hello,
perchance?
Did you come from Kevin of Loganshire? Our Brummy comrade. If you're from oh, hello,
Wow, the no
I saw
justice
you in there.
after Kevin Reid.
Helena.
Wow,
No,
double
did you
domino.
after Kevin Reid? Oh my God, it's a domino effect. Thank you, Helena and Kevin. Thank you very much. Hello, comrades.
That's fucking like A tier rating. That it's A plus tier
It's
rating.
fucking
Oh,
amazing.
shit. You're not worthy.
She's been interviewed by a party leader. Please be Helena. Thank you, everyone. Welcome in, welcome in.
Hopefully she's not watching, but she's also the finest political economic mind on YouTube. I mean, the critical thinking in that woman is doctor tier.
Praise be Helena. I don't need to say to the readers, go and follow No Justice, obviously. I am prolific on Helena's stream. And Kev's
Omaha
obviously.
asks about the Sontaran's enemies. They were floating blobs, the Rutans. Like, if you think of Patrick McGowan and The Prisoner and Rover, the big inflatable white balloon.
Oh, the
those
big,
were the Sontaran
massive
enemies.
balloon.
Yeah, so in the Sontaran storyline, you have the fossil fuels, you have cars and diesel emissions and stuff, all kind of alluded to. So don't know what Kevin Logan writes, James Holmes. I'd imagine it was Jeremy Beadle instead. And thank you, Adam Gordon. Don't forget the thumbs up at the least to this.
Welcome, Doctor Who fan,
I am
Adam.
Biggest Who ever. Do comment and chat. Our chat's really active. It's a really important part of the Saturday night stream. But also, if you're feeling extra generous, leave a little comment because that helps people find us. I know people don't really watch live streams so much after the fact, unless you are like Kevin or No Justice, but sometimes they do. So every little helps.
Even if I'm on the live stream when they're live streaming and I'm there in the chat and stuff, I still go back and I rewatch it the next day or either the next day or the following day and stuff.
I'll admit I often I just don't have the time to. I will occasionally go in and I will take, like, if I can't find anything else on YouTube, I'll go in like 20, 30 minutes while I'm eating my dinner and a bit of time after, or My Left Eye, because they do their PMQs and it's kind of like a game show element to those. And it's really entertaining.
I really loved that. I said to Lefty that was one of the best things you ever done, doing that. Like, you've got Keith's catchphrases. Love it. Lefty, you're amazing. Thank you. Everyone, go and follow My Left Eye. He is based. He is Mancunian. He is good people.
We'll get this over and done with the newcomers. Adam asks, who's your favourite Doctor? I think, oh no, we're on the same page, aren't we? It's Peter Capaldi. Yep, both me and Katie on the same page in this one.
We are indeed. Praise be Peter Capaldi.
James leaves a number of emotes I can't actually read. That looks something like this.
It's just emotes.
Thank you.
The standard YouTube emotes. You don't actually see them in the chat. If you go into the actual live stream, if you were just a normal viewer and stuff on the YouTube, you'll see what ones they are. I don't know a penguin one. I know most of them. Yeah, he's amazing, isn't he?
So, next on my list, I've got pop culture. Neil Gaiman's. Oh yeah, should we even have brought up Neil Gaiman at all? Is this like a box of spiders? Um, uh,
Right, the death
I
of the
think
author doesn't
Nightmare in
exist,
Silver
but it's
really
kind
sort
of. Do you like Matt? I like Matt Smith as well, Adam. I do. For me, it's either a toss up between either Tennant or Capaldi, and I usually fall into yes, Capaldi. Who's better, the Doctor or Malcolm Tucker?
that's a good one. Yeah.
Answer in chat. Feel free to take your time.
Set up that poll,
For me, it's the
Katie.
Doctor.
Um, I think, I mean, reflecting on socio-techno trends, you've got Rise of the Cyberman and the whole transhumanism thing of implants. And this was
Yes.
actually seems to be a bit ahead of the curve. I mean, we had earphones back in 2006, 7. Um, and we had transhumanism, the idea of, if I have the phrase right, maybe it's posthumanism, but it's essentially the idea of implanting body modifications. So, you
Yeah.
can press a button on your arm to close your curtains or turn on your lights. And I think that technology probably is a bit more available through earpods nowadays, and certainly audio, voice commands, Alexa, Siri.
Yeah,
Um,
Alexa
like I've
or
got a light bulb in this room that I turn on and off with my phone, except I can't log into the app on my phone, so you have to do it all manually now. So yeah, that's my origin story of becoming a Cyberman.
oh. As much as I'd love to make this a smart home a la Doctor Who, especially the TARDIS, that thing is a work of genius. The way they've actually scripted and actually made like the oh god, I can't remember the episode title. You actually see her; she gets basically dragged out. The Doctor described it as going like the plug hole of the universe, and you had an Ood and you had House, and you had two other characters as well. That was Matt Smith. I
A
thought the way
couple
they handled that one and making the TARDIS an actual living, breathing thing, a human, human-esque, but still the TARDIS essentially.
Yeah, I think that's one of those cases where it really falls in outside of the social sciences. That's really a kind of a fantasy story. It's more
As you,
entwined with Moffat's fairy tale storytelling manifesto, with plenty of allusions to, and I recapture that kind of
yeah,
spirit, and very much the sort of folk fairy stuff that Gaiman is famous for. I mean, it's a great
yeah,
story. Um, and him writing that story is time spent not fucking anybody over. So happy times. Think happy thoughts. Um, I think we talked about earlier about the the transitory nature of story in Doctor Who, how often there was no myth, constantly referred to mythos, that the Doctor would travel around, and each new adventure would be a whole new cast, a whole new location, without reference every fucking minute to the stuff the TARDIS could do and the stuff the Time Lords could do. And I think, to
yeah,
me, that represents very much an anthropology. Sorry, I started saying two different versions of the words and got stuck between them.
anthropological.
Yeah, we'll go with that one. A view in that in classic Who, but we also see it pop up a lot in New Who. And I think like visiting alien worlds is a perfect way for science fiction to allude to anthropology. Thinking of the reintroduction of Captain Jack, we have Utopia, where we have one of those famous kind of civilization at the end of the world gone barbaric, which really does feel like the characters there have their own language, their own geography, their own lack of government, um, or
Oh,
um,
the one with the doctor's daughter, where he met his wife. That
um,
one, Fish People, Georgia Taylor.
fish people. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll
They'd been
allow
at
you.
war for a while, and it shows the consequences of forever war, or always battling, always actually fighting a perceived enemy. I thought
Yeah,
that one was really quite good. It was
yeah.
good.
Let's be clear. It's a duff episode, but it absolutely meets the criteria of what
It
we're
does, yeah.
discussing. Yeah, and it does tick those
I quite
boxes.
liked it.
Absolutely.
I quite liked it. Each to their own, of course.
There.
We'll have our favourite
Um,
episodes of it.
I've got I'm on each to their own. I'm going to be a bit. I'm going to reduce. We've already reduced to 37 viewers. I'm going to try and reduce that a bit more by drum roll, please. By praising Russell T Davies' second era. I'll get my coat, will I? Okay, so for anthropology, there's some phenomenal examples, and this comes out of so the big motif of Davies' second era, and we can argue whether that was actually a success or not. The motif, which is the gods, coming of the gods, a very Jack Kirby kind of thing, a conscious decision to push Doctor Who further out of science fiction and into fantasy by including a
Yes.
number of gods. And I think this it allows for an interpretation of it allows for anthropology to push through to the mission statement of enabling more voices. Now, as a polytheist myself, I absolutely appreciate the inclusion, the inclusivity of the idea of the gods, the pantheons. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head how many gods are in the Indian pantheon. Hundreds,
Oh God,
maybe.
there's hundreds of them.
But if you add up
It's one of
gods,
the oldest established religions.
if you add up
Hinduism.
gods and goddesses worldwide, and then stick all the Marvel Comics ones on and the DC ones on top of that,
Yes.
like you're talking thousands, right? If you add up
Yes,
all the
easily
gods,
thousands. Easily, yeah.
I think maybe not successful, but I think the effort is absolutely fantastic. And actually, I mean, here a couple of examples. So, and the first was Neil Patrick Harris as a toy maker, bit of fun. But you've also got Jinx Monsoon as that character. I forget the name of the character. That character's daughter. Fantastic trans artist. Who I wouldn't have known about were it not for Doctor Who.
I can't remember. Bad Katie.
Somebody can
I
put
should
it in the
remember.
chat.
I remember.
There's enough Doctor Who nerds that can tell us who Jinx Monsoon played. We also have fun like Lux. So, oh, hold on. So some of you may know I used to make a Doctor Who review series of blended comedy sketches and props. And here we go on my wall. I made a cartoon cutout of the animated god Lux. And then at the end of the video, I stuffed it in my mouth and started chewing it to demonstrate my my domination, my superiority. So here I have pinned to all for bits of Lux, one half of the body, and Duncan see all those okay. There you go. Easter eggs. Easter eggs, that's why you come to this stream. But by and far, my favourite of both the new RTD2 era of Doctor Who, and actually one of my favourite Doctor Who ever, that satisfies the gods, the anthropology bit, is the story in the engine, which I forget the author's name, but he was behind a series of theatrical works about a barber shop where various Afro-Caribbean men share their experiences and share their stories. And it's utterly riveting. I mean, what it does in terms of using multimedia is visually quite stunning, but in terms of giving voice to an excluded demographic and telling their actual genuine stories sincerely is like top tier. I would easily rate it there with Vincent and the Doctor. Depending on my mood, I'd rate it as the greatest, above Vincent and the Doctor. I think if you've not seen Story in the Engine yet, please put it on your, and you're going to watch some Doctor Who, please mark it your number one priority, because it's just gold. Don't agree with Adam. Russell T Davies is and always was a genius, but some days he's pretty damn fantastic. Yeah. Oh, you finally found your home. Well, I'll drive you away, yeah, Adam, but for the meantime, you're very welcome. Please enjoy yourself and keep contributing. Did I just see some pears in your fruit bowl? I thought I said porn for a moment. I thought I was in trouble. Do you have pears, Katie?
No.
No, I wonder. This must be when I moved my camera. I'm going to move it again, see if we can spot the pears. This isn't what this stream's for. We see any pears yet? No?
No? Okay, so far.
Absolutely isn't. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Have you spotted a pear? If so, call his number. The anthropological stuff.
I thought oh God, I can't remember the episode now. It was Capaldi, and they actually they were cataloguing people throughout history. It was a Capaldi episode, and they'd got someone from the trenches of the First World War.
Oh yes, this is Capaldi's swan song with Mark Gatiss playing. Yeah. A really interesting one in terms of, if you like, because there is no villain in that story. There is no actual antagonist. So,
there isn't. Yeah. There's no villain at all. No.
Yeah. So that's a really good one for anthropology, for tagging. And I mean, you can actually see this in a lot of science fiction genre shows. Is this attempt to talk about anthropology? So Star Trek, visiting a different planet each week, unless you're in Deep Space Nine, which actually is far better. But leaving that aside, Farscape, with the amount of work put into those alien designs and the cultures around them, I mean, Farscape's one way we'll figure out how to do our politics around and our academia, because Farscape is also chef's kiss.
For me to be any good, I'm going to actually have to go back and watch Farscape again. I'll need to ask. I'll ask Bex. I'll need to go into the MV server later on, and to see if Farscape's on it. And I'll go. I've watched. By the way, everyone, I've watched all of Farscape. It rules.
It really does. And you can see most of it on YouTube, because the company who bought the rights to it, Shout Factory, I've just released the whole thing on YouTube for free. Um, Sometimes they bundle like 3 episodes at a time, and sometimes they publish them out of order, which is a bit tricky. They also have like a live stream where it's constantly screening. Shout Factory is the channel. Um, so look out for the Farscape show from Andy and Katie in 2027. Um, I've got
Why don't they do that for Doctor Who, do you think? I'll say again, BBC, you suck.
Well, it was like getting blood from a stone to get the BBC to stick all of Doctor Who up on iPlayer. I honestly never thought it would happen.
I was one of the ones that kept on campaigning. There was thousands of us across the land saying, put it on the fucking iPlayer so it's accessible to everyone. Thank you. We do pay our TV license.
I think it raises a game. Should have raised the game for other television shows, because
yeah,
I mean the BBC has been in existence for a long, long time, 100 years, and the amount of quality material.
103.
103 years. Wow.
That's on radio to begin with, and TV after the war. So
there's an awful lot of archival material. They have the resources, the platform. Yeah. That payers pause for dramatic effect or for just tumbleweeds that we should be entitled to watch. Yeah, I can't possibly comment on whether I pay my TV license now, because I like to be politically ambiguous in protest, but I've certainly paid it in the past. And I'd like shit on iPlayer, please. More of it, thank you.
BBC, can you hear us?
Hey, Katie. Is history a science?
Ooh, controversial. I class it as a sort of science, as a social science.
Yeah,
being able to do history is really quite good. Yes. It depends on what terms you mean by science, because that is always up for debate.
Well, in my eyes, archaeology is science. If you've got if you do a history degree, that's a Bachelor of Science, not a Bachelor of Art. So yeah, I guess it is. And I mean, we talked earlier about Classic Who initially was supposed to be historical stories.
Yes.
Talking about science. So, I mean, if you've ever, I remember binging most of Hartnell, and it's like pseudo documentary, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that doesn't have the Daleks in it or other bug-eyed monsters is going for that.
That's sort of the bug-eyed monsters started to change, like from the original Who, like Hartnell, Troughton, early Pertwee. Then they started changing in for Baker and stuff to what I would call bug-eyed monsters, so aliens and things of that nature.
I would like to ask you in a minute about Chibnall and historicals, because I feel that's worth talking about. But first, it doesn't. What I've noticed is Who and the sort of the time and space travel thing, can still very much uses history as a setting to inform narrative. And I'm thinking of, Vincent and the Doctor is a great example. The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances, which
yes.
World War I era London and plays into that. Mark Gattis's Cold War, Ice Warriors, Submarines, Soviets. Everything by Mark Gattis is guaranteed, whether you love him or not or hate him, is guaranteed.
Was it Gattis that done the Lazarus episode?
I think it was. Yeah, it was a bit shit, wasn't it? Yeah. So yeah, that's awkward.
No, carry on. I was just wondering if
Easier to talk about.
we've
Let's talk about something more awkward than the Lazarus experiment. Let's talk about Chris Chibnall and his
carry on.
historicals. Over to you, Katie. I don't know. I've never seen. Maybe chatters can keep me in the gate.
Fish fingers and custard is awesome with chips and curry sauce. Mystery, you heathen.
Good
Gone.
man. Good man.
Fish fingers and custard. The way that got portrayed as a way of also a social construction and what we eat and how we interact with the younger audiences, the younger people in society, and being able to show them different ways of living and things like that, especially eating fish fingers with custard. Why would I ruin my fish fingers in such a manner? Just leave my fish fingers alone. It's fish fingers and ketchup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Focus, Madcap.
Sorry.
Historicals. Somebody told me Demons of the Punjab is if I only watch one Chibnall episode. Demons of the Punjab. From that, not by Chibnall, but from that run.
Yes. I remember that one. Yeah. The one they done in Venice, right? The vampire fish people? I can't remember the episode title. I remember the episode.
Moffat.
I don't know what?
Moffat.
Was that Moffat? Oh,
but that's a really good. The costumes, and the location shoot, all very beautiful.
To me. You know what? The best thing. I don't even
know if it was written by Moffat, but it was quite right into his arc.
Was it all right?
It was the first Rory
because I can't remember who actually wrote them. I remember the episodes more than anything. If you give me Chibnall's episodes, I'll be able to give you my thoughts on them.
Okay. Right. Well, I've been struggling because I don't care. But Rosa is the first one that people really talk about.
Ah, right. The Bad Wolf arc. Was that Chibnall?
No, Rosa Parks.
Oh God, that one, yes.
It's really memorable, isn't it?
That one's just lost in the sauce for me, essentially, that one. Oh dear God. Trust me, everyone, I'm not a racist. I'm not. I just can't remember that episode.
Parks is in danger from a space racist ranger with a blast gun. Sit down on the bus in the right place so Rosa Parks can defeat the space alien.
Literally, I still can't remember. It's mad. Who done that episode? Well, who's
Quick
the daughter?
tangent, what do you think?
Who's the daughter for that one?
That was Jodie.
Was that Jodie? All right. Do you want to know
quick aside, Adam Gordon says Queer as Folk was groundbreaking by Russell T Davies. It fucking was. It was great fun, wasn't it? It's a bit like getting punched in the face at first, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Correct, Adam. Yeah. Oh dear God! Don't remind me what year that came out.
Please just flood the chat with Jodie Whittaker episodes so Katie can brain up. Or you as well. You know, if you have
Omaha, you are incorrect.
Historicals.
The human body is not a mathematical construct. I should know. I know the human body roughly. You math purists can all shut up. I will give my mathematicians their due, obviously, but yeah, I'm more biology coded. I do apologize.
Was this really the worst time we could have brought up Chris Chibnall in our programming structure.
Quite possibly.
I think possibly it could have. It might have just. We're down to 30 now. 30 survivors left on the island.
Oh no, fine. That's quite a lot for the chat for the stream, actually.
Okay, look, how about we circle back around?
Okay.
I can do a search after I finish my cigarette. I've actually only got one more category in this, which is socio-psychological. So back to storytelling, just for a way of introduction. Maybe most of you are aware of this, but most stories are character stories. They are told by character, from Spider-Man to Friends to even Breaking Bad. They are what is known as psychological stories. They're about how a character thinks and, by extension, how they behave. And those are the motivators. Remember how I went back earlier and said plot is character? But there's a much more interesting way of telling story, and that's sociological storytelling.
Yeah.
And there's some fantastic examples of that. And it's often when storytelling can achieve something much better. Think of The Wire, probably the best show ever on TV still. 25 years later. Slap Katie's wrist, slap your wrist if you've not seen The Wire.
Sorry.
I mean, a really obvious example, maybe a contentious in the definition of sociological narrative, The Simpsons, which is just populated by so many supporting characters that you get an overall bird's eye vista of the city of Springfield. Deep Space Nine, I'll also allow,
Yes.
again, succeeding through its large use of supporting characters. Game of Thrones is a really interesting example of the difference between the two. So cast your mind back way to the dawn of time when Game of Thrones was an immensely popular series you enjoyed a lot, at least the first series, right? You all enjoyed the first series. First three. I'd probably first 5, I think. Actually, no. I would have been
first 4 or 5 are actually quite good.
I've been a diehard, but we all know, those of us who have watched to the end of Game of Thrones all are pretty sure in our opinion of where Game of Thrones died. And that coincides with where Game of Thrones became a story, was no longer about society or but about character. It made the transition between sociological and psychological. And so that fall in a show and a storytelling demonstrates the difference between the two. No surprise, Doctor Who, particularly in the modern era, has veered towards the psychological, but they've also done a blend of the two. And I've got
they have, yes.
Like a good example of the psychological, where it's hints, is Night Terrors, which is a guy who was a villain in I think Ashes to Ashes at the end, where he's looking after an autistic child who has spooky dolls in his cupboard that come to life. Set on a council estate flat, and speaks to that child's trauma. But also, my other 3 examples of good socio-psychological are all, again, controversially from the last Russell T Davies era. So you have 73 Yards, which is about Ruby Sunday being socially ostracized and isolated, and there's a political undercurrent of bigotry underneath it. You have Dot and Bubble, which talks about the toxic social media and class-based cliques and elitism. And you have Lucky Day, which focuses on incels and far-right gallant culture, which a couple of Burkes channel does. You should go and follow.
They do, yes.
And you know, there's a lot of rightful criticism for Russell T Davies' second era, but those three examples, I think, are all, although mostly Dr. Light, are all like really good story and really good at exploring that sociological realm.
Oh, I get where you're coming from, Adam. I do, yeah. Yeah. I've read the books, by the way, Adam. The books are better than the TV series. Don't get me wrong. I've got the entire fucking collection up. Where is it? There, it's there. It's over there, just behind me. About
Katie, can I just remind you to read the comment out before you address it directly? Because we're streaming to 5 different audiences, not all of whom can read the chat.
It was, this is from Adam Gordon. It was when the Spanish gentleman got killed by that Mad Mountain, essentially, in Game of Thrones. Never watched it again, couldn't handle it. So that was Clegane.
Who was he? Oh, I wish I knew the actor's name right now, because it wasn't the Mandalorian guy, was it? Who had to talk about cylinders of sperm? Who was Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four movie? And this is what escapist literature does to you.
So many tangents.
So many tangents.
Mental, isn't it? Game of Thrones. Go.
So the only other time I remember Doctor Who doing that sort of sociological fiction is actually kind of not one of my favorites, but maybe people appreciate Journey's End, which was one of Russell T Davies' swan songs, where a lot of characters from the what was Hooniverse Mark One, the Torchwood, Sarah Jane Adventures, Past Companions, all kind of came back. I mean, it's very hard to build a sociology if you're traveling in space of time. Like, how do you represent that? You can't, I guess, is what J. Michael Straczynski might say. Better, because I've been reading a lot of him lately on writing, better to sort of represent a portion of that with time-space intersections. Yeah, it is the same guy who appears in the community table read doing Walton Goggins' part, and it just makes a utterly meme-worthy appearance.
I just went and checked there. Sandor was the younger one, and the Mountain was his older brother.
Have you got the actor's name yet, Katie? Katie, that's who we send you.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry.
You need to get some sleep after this. Recharge your beautiful brain cells. And I need to stop smoking so I can actually go and Google it for myself. Yeah, that's one we come back to.
Give me a minute. Show more.
Right. Oh shit, where do I start? Reed Richards. Reed Richards, Manda. One hand typing.
What the?
Pedro Pascal. Thank you.
Got him. He was right down at the bottom. Yeah. I didn't actually realise that Sandra Clegane was born and brought up here in Glasgow. What the fuck? That's mental.
Okay, let's circle back around to Chris Chibnall and historicals.
Okay, I'll actually
this is how it all
I'll
ends.
do my research first. We'll just put in
Research is terrible.
It's 2 L's, isn't
have you
it?
seen the Witch Finders? Was that a good one? Was that historically? Was that one of the ones that had no sci-fi elements? Or
It's 2 L's, isn't it, Chibnall? Chibnall. Got him. Go. Oh, you're bloody Christ, you see me just super happy. Christ's sake. Career.
I did watch while we're waiting for Kitty to sync up. I did watch Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror, which I think was a decent enough romp in terms of like costume design and talking about that period in time. I'm not sure how accurate it was in terms of biography and or how much artistic or dramatic license was taken. But it was fairly clear Chibnall's sort of agenda going out was to focus on historicals and to bring those back into fashion. Hi, Ellie. Nice to see you.
Hi, Al. My God. So he started. The torture not getting mentioned. Breeze past that one. So his first episode was 2007, called 42. Was that the one on the spaceship where they were harvesting energy from a sun?
Yes, that was a piece of shite that reused the Satan Pit outfits. Was essentially a story about a pub quiz in space, using Chibnall's ever boring device of the countdown, which he couldn't be bothered working out how it ended, like so many Chibnall stories.
They're
yeah,
all coming back to me now.
probably best, Katie.
Oh dear God. That's the one of the yeah. Oh, that's the first one with Martha. Oh, one of my favourite episodes was written by Chibnall. Oh, fuck.
Go ahead. Damn yourself. Which one?
The first one with Martha.
No, it wasn't. That wasn't a Chibnall one. Smith and Jones. That was Davies. I'm pretty sure. Oh.
Whoa, what year would that have been?
2007, I believe. Yep, that was Russell T Davies.
Was it?
Yep. It doesn't really matter.
The Fugitives of the Jejune was the crossover with Sarah Jane. I remember it now.
I can't. If we're going to play this game, I don't think it's worth it. But I'll tell you my favorite Chibnall. Dinosaurs in a Spaceship. Which does have this sort of collecting of historical figures, so that you get like a mini Justice League kind of thing. And you've also, it's just a mad, stupid romp of elements that shouldn't work well together, but do. I mean, definitely it helps that Chibnall's script is aided by fine casting, really good special effects people. It's well produced. It probably had Moffat on as a script editor. Yeah. So yeah, I think Katie, you've got a bit scatterbrained when it comes to talking about historicals.
I do. The one that comes to mind the most is The Girl in the Fireplace. I quite like that one, and the way
Oh yeah.
they portrayed that one. That was Tenant, by the way, and that was about the Madame Pompadour. Basically,
Are you familiar with?
The French king's official mistress, because that was an actual title. So he had his wife, he had his queen, and they also had an official lover. And the way that got portrayed,
Benchalada.
huh?
My dear friend Ben Stone, Benchalada is in the chat. Welcome, sir.
Hello,
It's so nice to hear
Benchalada.
from you again.
It's also a bit
Ben and
timey
I
wimey.
go back quite a bit, back to live journal days, um,
Hello, Ben.
making really dysfunctional comics and brilliant ones as well, both of us.
Sorry, I'm a bit scatterbrained tonight. I do apologise. Keep me on topic. Give me set parameters. It's always better that way.
Well, I'm kind of all out of prompts, but look, let's. I've got one I can pick you up on. The Girl in the Fireplace. It took me a while to get that. But I know it's an insanely popular one at the time. Was that? Was your love of that? I mean, did you know the Madame de Pompadour story before coming to that, or
I did,
reading it
yes.
afterwards?
I dabble in European history, especially where the British Empire is concerned, especially most of the European monarchies, and the way that Madame de Pompadour was actually portrayed in that episode was quite historically accurate, which was quite good to see. That was a Tenant episode, by the way. I can't remember what season it was, though.
Yeah, it was season 3.
Was it third season?
No, season 2. Oh, season 3. Oh shit! Wow, a Moffat fact I can't actually remember. It surprises me a bit. It was season 2, episode 4. It surprised me a bit because, like, I know Moffat's career quite well at this point, and I've never seen him show a love or expertise in European history in anything else he's done. You. But
that was
I massively respected when it came out.
It was Tennant that was the doctor with Shakespeare, wasn't it? I love that episode. It's so fun. That was the second or third one with Martha, I think. Second one? Third one? I can't remember what one it was, but it was one of our earlier episodes, and I thought that was quite good. Love Slavers one was brilliant. I love Shakespeare, by the way, everyone. I thought that episode really portrayed the way history actually works, and it gives it to a new audience to actually educate us about history. Go and read history, everyone. Do it now. After the stream, of course.
I think Shakespeare Code. I think this was a Mark.
Was it Shakespeare Code?
Oh no, it was Gareth Roberts. Oh, is he the problematic one? Or was that Rob Shearman? I shouldn't really confuse it two because they're worlds apart. Yeah, it was Gareth Roberts. Yeah, he's on the fuck you list.
Is he? All right.
Sad how good people fall.
It does happen, unfortunately.
I mean, the historicals were right there at the beginning. Episode 3, The Unquiet Dead by Gatiss was
yes,
Dickens, wasn't it?
It was, yes, it was Dickens. Newsflash, everyone! I've not read much Dickens. I couldn't get into him.
Gatiss is a writer I have problems with, and like not massive problems, but
same here.
I get the sense, so he's really passionate about history. Is what I get from him. Like and academic, but I feel when I see his stuff on screen, it doesn't flow as it should. It feels a bit clunky. Maybe it's because he doesn't use as much humor as he could, and certainly a discrepancy between him and Moffat in those regards. And yeah, he's a writer I really want to like more than I do, more than I can find myself doing. Every so often he'll hit a home run, but it's few and far between.
Oh God, that was Toby Young. Oh God, who was the one that what was it? The Dream Master, the Dreamweaver, or something? Who wrote that one? Those episodes?
Oh, that was scroll down, series 5. Amy's Choice. That was written by Simon Nye, who hasn't really written for the series often. And actually, that's his own contribution to the.
We see elements of him in the Toymaker as well. So the way the Toymaker and was it the Dream Master or Dreamweaver or something, whatever the character's name was, you could see elements of that character put into the Toymaker. I thought the way they actually handled both of those characters was really quite good. Obviously, Neil Patrick Harris, God, I love him. Literally a god in Doctor Who. And now he's in a little box, never to be opened. We will find out.
Oh, goddamn. That's just flashed up another plot hole for me that's unsatisfying. I thought it was fantastic having the Masters. The Master survived as a tooth, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. But how did he get, he get from there to, well, who cares? I mean, I think there's broad consensus that actually, let me just establish broad consensus, manufacturing consensus. The Russell T Davies N2-parters for the new run, they're all non-canon. Thank you. You're welcome. I've been Andrew Luke.
Explain yourself, good man.
I don't need to explain myself, Kitty Marshall.
Yes, you do. I demand it.
The gods. The golden god.
Oh God, who was the one that came out of the piano? The Beatles were in it as well. The way they handled that.
That's what I was talking about earlier. The actress is Jinx Monsoon. And I forget the god's name. I really do. But let's see if I can. So the Devil's Chord was the episode.
Yes.
Maestro is the character's name.
Maestro.
We got there. That's the last of our loose ends tied up, as far as I can recall. I sense we are sort of drawing naturally to the end of our stream. I'm happy to keep going, but I'd like to thank everybody who's shown up now and who's put stuff in comments, because that community really is a core part of what we do. Mystery, if you're still here, wish you a good night. Always welcome. So why I am always right about everything in this particular context. It goes back to like breaking down the last 2 seasons of Doctor Who, and you can make a really good case. I know I can make a really strong case for every single episode, except for those 2-part finales that close out last 2. Space Babies was brilliant. I'll go there with you. Space Babies was very popular with all of you in the 1980s when it was called Look Who's Talking, and Hollywood made a packet off it. Actually, I enjoyed Space Babies more than those films.
I quite liked that episode. That was quite good.
Yeah, and it was political as well. There was a lot of stuff about immigration being talked of, and the problems faced by people forced to migrate by governments pushing them on.
Yes,
Yeah, and I don't think Space Babies gets enough credit.
it doesn't.
It's not the worst thing that's happened to Doctor Who by a long shot either.
Of course not. No.
But we covered.
Ever since we've started this live stream, I've desperately trying to remember the one where it was a planet or a community who actually had to sing, and I can't remember what
Oh yeah.
doctor that
Well,
was.
this is another one I think is unfairly misaligned. It's called The Rings of Akaten. Yeah.
Ah,
And what that actually, do you want to talk about it first before I give my manifesto?
that's the only part of it that I remember. Oh God!
Do you know
I
what?
remember
So
the
why
people
I love,
voices.
or one of the reasons I love The Rings of Akaten, is I think it's a class thing, and it's slightly deceitful in my thing because it's not really borne out by the fact. But The Rings of Akaten is an episode for me that BBC's Doctor Who at the Proms does, and it gives it that oomph of creative musical talent and builds an actual functioning story around it, that is more than any of the Nights at the Proms can actually do. Now, the Nights at the Proms might be better, and I'm aware the BBC put those out as individual
Yes,
shows or up on iPlayer, probably on some
yeah.
other streaming platforms. You would hope, because
They
they're
they put it on YouTube.
marvelous
They put it on
spectacles.
YouTube as well.
But like most of you, I don't live in London. I probably most times don't have the money to shell out to go to the opera or to the proms. So Rings of Akaten absolutely makes a thoroughly good attempt at scratching that itch. I think it delivers in those terms. And yes, love for it here from Adam Gordon. Yeah. Um, says it's amazing. The speech is my favorite thing. The speech is, yeah, I'd forgotten about the speech actually when talking about it, and it is one of the greats.
It
And
was
actually,
absolutely beautiful, wasn't
just
it?
gonna go.
Yeah.
I can't actually remember who was the Rings of Akaten. Was it Neil Cross or?
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone way too back. It's a Clara story, isn't it?
Yeah, it was Clara Moffat.
No, it wasn't. It was Neil Cross. So Neil Cross is a really good writer from that time in Doctor Who. Oh, did he only write one other one? So he wrote Hyde, which was I think the same year, and it was the story of like the haunted house. It had actually turned out to be a time traveler going through it, and it felt like
Yes.
a very sort of atmospheric kind of piece. Neil Cross was one of the people that was being talked about as would have been a much better successor to Moffat. He had previously been the creator, lead writer, and showrunner of Luther, which was essentially Idris Elba is Batman, and it was quite a ridiculous series in places, and also quite a high drama Funville thing, bit inconsistent, but more or less it was an enjoyable piece of cake. Yeah.
Should I watch Luther? I have never seen one episode at all, not even 1 minute.
I think small doses. Give it, if you're interested enough, give it a try. It does take itself too seriously, but that's a stylistic choice. So the first series is 6 episodes, and like many of these things, they start off better than they go on. So absolutely give the first 6 episodes a try. And like anything, you don't have to. If you're already bored by the end of episode 1, you don't need to see out how the story ends. If you've decided it ends rubbish, break away. Don't be bound to continuity.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of us Doctor Who fans or sci-fi or fantasy enjoyers were saying, "Oh, you're just stuck. You can't change your media." No, I watch things, and if I don't like them, I'm not going to watch them. I just think we keep on watching Doctor Who or Babylon 5.
Well, that's it.
Or,
That's exactly why. I mean, I don't consider myself a Whovian because this show is, and as many of its praisers have said, it's a show that fluctuates in quality. One week it might be a pile of horse shit. The next week it might be Oscar worthy. That's the very nature of the show. So that's why I can't go all in with my fandom. And I tend to agree with that estimation. And just a plug, in about 10 days' time, my press gang, what do I call it? Readers' Commentaries returns. Press gang was the very first show made by Stephen Moffat, wrote all 43 episodes, stands up really well. 40 years on, a barrel of fun, and I've been doing a deep dive on those. So, yeah, first one will be out to patrons in about 4 days, and then after that, the rest of you. You're knackered, Katie.
it's not that my knee is causing me issues. No, I'm fine. Other than the knee. If anyone's got a spare right knee floating about in their household, send it my way, please. Thank you. My right knee is dubbed. That's why I use Doctor Who as an escapism, because you see him and them and the companions having adventures, going around doing adventures and things like that. And I wish I can do that. Then I look at my body and think, bollocks. No.
We could have a game of fantasy football league, if you like, without the football. If you were going to write a Doctor Who story or run a Doctor Who series, what would you like to do?
A couple of different topics. I'd want more disabled representation. Don't get me wrong, they've shown disabled representation within Doctor Who over the years. I love that. Thank you very much. I'd want more expansion on that, showing how disabled people actually live their lives and how we interact, how we get on in the world, either physically or psychologically or mentally, if you wish. So being able to show more of that in Doctor Who would be a good thing. Showing more trans, they've already done that. Loved it, amazing. That's when the right wing starts. Oh, Doctor Who's gone woke. Shut the fuck up. It's always been kind of woke.
More work the better. Better work than sleep until we actually need to sleep, right? You can't watch Doctor Who when you're sleeping. It's kind of in the rules of television.
I will test you on that fact. I've fallen asleep watching Doctor Who in my bed.
Well, falling asleep, yeah, but once you're asleep, unless you dream Doctor Who, that's probably happened.
Do you want to know something? Some of my most vivid dreams that I remember, science tangent here. The way We actually rest and relax when we go off to our, it's called a scratcher up here in Scotland, by the way. So when you go off to bed, when you enter your REM cycle, your brain is actually digesting what you've actually interacted with, what you've done during the day, how you've interacted, things of that nature. And thing is crop up in our mind when we're sleeping. We don't usually remember them. Some people do remember them. Some people don't. It depends on the structure of the brain and the neurons and stuff. And a lot of people actually dream Doctor Who. Whoever their favourite Doctor is, whatever episodes they remember. And some people actually dream Doctor Who. And they think, that'd be a really good episode. It's quite fascinating the way our brains work.
As soon as you wake up, or it's gone. Right against time. I've never dreamed Doctor Who, I can remember, but I do remember dreaming being part of a band that was opening for REM.
Ooh.
That was cool. Foursome, we got to play on stage with all four members. I was going to say a thing. Oh yeah, what would I do if I was doing Doctor Who? I think I definitely agree. I definitely hire you as a story consultant, if not an outright script writer. You have more inclusion, not just in regards to disability, in terms of ethnicity, in terms of geography. So, you know, this is a doctor that travels in space and time. Why are all his adventures in London or Cardiff? And of course, I'm forever waving the flag of 65 years of Doctor Who, yet he's never, in all his journeys around the UK, he's never visited Northern Ireland. That shit needs to happen. Actually, that's probably my first episode.
That needs fixed, yes.
I think I would go back to the medical. I think I would lean hard into the notion of the doctor actually being a doctor. And there was a line in Chudy's run about, I'm not a real doctor, or something like that. Bullshit, knock that back. Otherwise, what's the point? So, and he's a medical doctor, or she is she, her, them, medical doctor, doctor of philosophy, history, archaeology, the whole lot. Let's get that academic tenure in there. I also think there's a lot of interesting stuff that could be played about with in regards time and multi-doctory stuff. So my great YouTuber Samuel Davis came up with a really interesting pitch about having like two doctors, and it's something that Chibnall always almost stumbled upon with the wonderful fugitive doctor, the wonderful Joe Martin, is it?
I believe so. Yeah, I think that's right.
You've two doctors appearing at one time, and you know, one might be from a different point in the timeline. And Davies put forward the proposal that, you know, you would play with reader perception of which doctor was your doctor. You maybe even wouldn't see the regeneration. And I really like that kind of thing. I think playing about with the time travel aspect and viewer perception. I had an idea of my own there I was going to throw in to go with that, but I've entirely forgotten what it was. I think there's also, going back to Russell T Davies' 2005 mission statement, I think there's also a lot of place for quieter, smaller kitchen sink dramas. It's absolutely doable to do a Doctor Who during COVID little story of three people gathered in a kitchen together. just talking. You think of the classic British kitchen sink dramas, Ken Loach, um, the guy who did The Street, those kind of things. And it's absolutely possible to do Doctor Who on that scale. And it would be a meritorious thing, and it would be relatively slim in terms of budget. I think you could make a lot more episodes. I'm not a fan of this sort of fun size series where we get TV series that are like 8 episodes a piece. Can we not find a middle ground between 8 episodes and 22? Yeah, okay, we can. I will accept the job of showrunner.
There is a way, or that is the way. Still haven't seen The Mandalorian, by the way, everyone. But each and last.
Oh, it's a bundle of fun. Well, the first 2 seasons are. Here's a bit of a drop off, but I haven't seen it, so what good am I on that question? Have you folks seen Withnail and I? Asks Adam. You have?
Yeah. I don't like it. I managed to finish watching it. No, I didn't. Richard D. Grant is a bit of its arsehole. Sorry.
I've seen it twice, but a very long time ago. I enjoyed it more second time around.
No, I've watched it fully through twice, and I've tried to watch it again to make sure I'm being super unbiased. Essentially, I can't be. I'm biased. Yeah, I still don't like it. Mm-hmm. Top 10 films? Oh, top 10 films? That's fucking hell.
Has anybody in chat seen Press Gang? Am I the only one?
I've seen it now.
Have you seen it?
Yes, I watched it.
Oh wow. Oh, okay. Tell us something about Katie and Press Gang.
I cannot. Oh God damn it! Thank you, my niblet. That was my niece, by the way. They sent me the link to it. Auntie Kay, you have to watch this. It's brilliant. So my younger sister, her mum, remembers watching it when she was a wee child, essentially.
Oh, are we talking about Press Gang?
Yeah.
Ah, right, yeah.
You have to watch this.
It still stands up.
I've still got the link. Yeah. No criminal activity has been involved in this, but I've got an account with my niblet and my mum of impaired to their streaming services. And my name is literally Mancat. She is currently downloading The Mandalorian.
It's a public service. Let's do a quick run through recent Moffat stuff. Sherlock.
What one? Is that Bendy Batch?
Any? Oh, give us a Bendy Batch. Yeah, give us an overview of opinion.
All right, I guess. I liked it. I watched them. Could be better. No. Again, I've read the books first, so biased. No.
Yes.
I love Benedict. Don't get me wrong, but the way he was written for playing Sherlock. Sorry, dog shit. No. H-Bomb's got a point with that one. Thank you, Harris.
Yeah, I tried to read the Sherlock books when I was younger and just got bored. Really, I couldn't.
Oh no, I managed to get right. I when I was younger, I used to read quite quickly, and I managed to burn through like 2 or 3 books a week.
I think there's a lot of the Gaddis Moffat Sherlock stuff is really enjoyable and really pleasing. Obviously, the
Yeah.
chemistry between the two lead actors is one of the high point, but also a lot of script. Where it becomes problematic is Moffat's embracing of dense story. And actually, it's always been a little bit of a tradition with Moffat where he shoots himself in the foot, is where he decides to demonstrate what a great writer he is. And he is a great writer, but just sometimes he needs to slow down and tell the
Do you want
viewer what's going on
my
and
theory
leave a
on
bit of space and breath.
do you want my theory on that one? I think he was getting controlled by the BBC.
On Sherlock Holmes?
Just my own crack theory with that one. The way either Moffat, Chibnall, or Russell were actually writing, and obviously it had to be
With
passed by the
Doctor Who,
trust.
yeah, that's documented. Yeah, that's documented. There were the shorter seasons in fairly early in Moffat's run, or the breakup. So the season 6 was broken up into 2, and
Mm-hmm.
so was season 7. From I think it was from season 8, there were shorter series, so more economic pressures. Having the pop band Wonder 50th anniversary, that was a terrible concession. Yeah, so it's all over Moffat's tenure as BBC pressure. Sherlock Holmes, not so much, very popular. And I imagine he and Gallus got as much free reign as they wanted.
Did yeah.
Have you seen what came next, really? Douglas is cancelled? Did you catch that? Actually, I skipped one. Well, we'll circle back around to that. Douglas is cancelled. Channel 4 series with a kind of like a press gang, grown-up vibe, but a very sort of... So it's about media and, shall we say, sexual abuse in the media industry. And as that description implies, there's a part in the story where it goes from quite entertaining and gripping to really fucking dark and really upsetting. And it's a very bold piece of writing by Moffat. There's some excellent cast in it, like Alex Kingston, Karen Gillan. And I really, I mean, it's a difficult watch, very difficult watch in places, but I think it's one that succeeds. The one I skipped by was Dracula.
Post the link to that one there, the one you were just talking about in the Discord for me, would you? So I can watch it.
I will make a note on my iPig book. Yes, Omaha. If you've been paying attention, this is the Press Gang Program Guide, a very limited edition thing. I make video essays about Press Gang. I am probably Northern Ireland's greatest Press Gang scholar at this point, and fast approaching the ranks of the greatest UK scholars. I have an address for Dexter Fletcher and Sandra Hasty, the producer, which I might avail myself of shortly. And I do have people who might be able to reach Stephen Moffat for me. So we'll see. If I'd certainly love to, people that were involved in that production, I'd love to get interviews with them and run them. I already managed to interview Lorne McGorry, who was essentially the second director of Press Gang. He helmed like 17 episodes. Really good guy to chat with. So check out my channels if you are as fucked in the head as I am about Press Gang. This was actually I'll not tell you the price on the back because it was published in 1996 and it's a very misleading price. over £15, postage, and the publisher who still has copies and has offered to sell them, but he's constantly globe hopping. It's a matter of getting hold of him while he's home, post one out. If you do want a copy, if you're prepared to spend over 15 quid on getting a copy, DM me over one of the socials and I will set it up for you. I don't know if I can quite give out his email address at this point, but I could certainly pass it along. My mum was born in Bangor. I don't know if that's what that's reference to, that in Bangor in Wales or Bangor in Northern Ireland. Bangor in Northern Ireland is 4 miles down the road from me. It's where my parents and two of my brothers live. Yeah, decent seaside spot. Yeah.
Do they like Doctor Who?
No, actually, I had a conversation. Well, not no, but they're kind of oblivious to it, and where it wasn't really like it wasn't really one of the things they foisted upon us when we were young. Your mum's born in my neck of the woods. Nice, Adam. Yeah, so I mean, my parents both had their loves and pop culture joys that they foisted upon us. Doctor Who wasn't one. I mean, my dad loved the 90s. Dan Dare and the Mekon and Desperate Dan, Dandy and Beano comics, and those get foisted upon me. We liked the Star Trek. My mother's father liked his sci-fi and his westerns. One of the my mum, not an awful lot of. My mum and I are very close. I consider her a dear friend, and we would talk about a lot of stuff, but very little of it like pop culture. But one of the things we bonded over was Twin Peaks. We sat down and watched most of the original run of Twin Peaks together. It was like a really strong mother-son ritual.
Oh, a nice one. Same with me. My mum loves Doctor Who. She also loves like Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, ER, Casualty. She's very socially coded. For the good of everyone, she wants to actually people to be happy and healthy. Presby mum. Mad Cat mum is really quite good, people. She is. She loves Doctor Who. Her favourite Doctor is the same as Super Hubby's. Tom Baker. Each to their own, as always. Obviously, mine's is Capaldi.
Yeah,
so you're just being biased.
I mean, until David Tennant came along, for a lot of American, Peter was the Doctor, because the way that show was distributed, although episodes went to America for transmission, there were, by the time Baker came on air, the fan networks were so active and so communicating. Video cassettes were sent across the Atlantic, and with Tom Baker being the longest window of that, and distinctive costume, distinctive acting choices. For many, he's the most recognizable Doctor. He's the internet Doctor.
Oh God, I'm getting near. I'm getting near to the end now.
I think we've talked this out. We're coming up to 4 hours now. I think
so we are.
Let's regrettably call it a night there. We've done our duty, as they say in Torchwood, before it got cyber-minimized. Thank you all for joining us. Let's do some quick plugs and stuff first before we leave. Let's take a bit of them with us. I'll go first because I am first. In about just over 10 hours, I will have my regular Sunday YouTube series called Sunday Comics, where I evangelize for underground and independent British and Irish comics. And if this stream hasn't saturated you, tomorrow's edition or today's edition will be Doctor Who comics published by an independent publisher, from your classic Tom Baker or Colin Baker, Peter Davidson era. Katie, you'll be on YouTube and Twitch after me. Do you want to talk about when and what you do? And
I'll be reading out on my Twitch. Sorry, YouTube comrades, I'm not up to 1,000 followers yet. Tell your mum and your gran and your granddad and your cat or dog to subscribe to me so I can get up to the 1,000 followers. So I can actually start earning money on YouTube. No pressure, of course, as always. I'm basically making most of my earnings through Twitch.
oh, look, Patreon. Oh, shit. That's good as well.
It is indeed. I'm trying to get one of our newly elected MSPs. Praise be, Iris Dwayne. She is gorgeous. She is trans. She is POC. I love her. My cat has a spare hip. Thank you, Adam. Send it up here to Glasgow. Thank you.
I'm quite enjoying this new game I've discovered, sort of like finger plug poo sticks. But I'm noticing it won't work if you're on a mobile device. You have to be viewing this, or you have to be viewing this in landscape.
We do, yeah.
Give Katie some Twitch bits if you like. You can pay me by Ko-Fi, or you can not pay me at all. That's fine. But you know what? As long as you pay by likes, comments, you've all been really generous with your input and chat time. Katie streams about 3 or 4 times a week. Always on Twitch, sometimes not on YouTube, depending on
it depends what I'm showing.
Pre-aired.
I can't do. Yeah. I will be making Wednesday and Thursdays standard now. So it's debate night, which is the Scottish version of Question Time, and obviously Question Time Thursday nights. They are set in the calendar. So every Wednesday and every Thursday, you've got your lass reacting to whatever dogship politicians and people who are on the panel for Question Time and Debate Night. Yeah.
I usually put out a new video essay on a Wednesday. This week is patrons only on that. It's a week off the other stuff, but my channel has fuck tons of great shit.
It does indeed.
And I will be back. I might pop up on another stream during the week. We'll see. But Katie and I will be back doing something next week together.
We will.
10 p.m. UK time. I think is it 4 p.m. Central Standard Time?
Over on the East Coast. On the East Coast of America, 10 p.m. here is 5 p.m. on the Eastern Seaboard, so like New York, New Jersey, Florida and stuff. And the further west you go, it's Raptor Blue, he's in Washington State. He is 8 hours behind us, so like 1 midnight, 11, 10, 9. It is 6 p.m. for Raptor over in Washington State, and everyone on the Western Seaboard, so like Washington, Oregon, California, they're all about 8 hours behind us.
Right, so yeah, isn't that cool? Let's say good night. Shall we vorp or something, or
I'll be reading.
It's really regenerate, but we have no special effects, so tough. Just imagine it.
I will be reading out. Feel free to follow me, everyone. We're going over to Red Rust 308. They are based. They are bassist. They love playing Oxygen Not Included in Valheim. Red is awesome. I'll be going to say hi to Red. Feel free to join us, Andy.
Cool.
Oh, fuck it. I don't know why I'm doing this to
Oh,
myself.
we should probably do it.
No, I've done the last 3 streams. Fuck it. Who have we got to deal with on award-winning herbalism in the morning?
Take it easy. Don't work too hard, Katie. Alonzi, Geronimo, and for God's sake. Night all.
Bye-bye.